my genetic father turned up on the front door and asked to see my mother. My dad told him to get fucked. To which he said, "All right, do you want to adopt Hugh?" And he said, "Why are you coming to us now?" I said, "Well, they're about to slap me with 8 years back pay for child support, and I really don't want to pay it. So I'll step aside and let you adopt him."
This is something to to come back to.
Oh yeah, no, you missed.
Hugh's
Hugh's backstory is fucking super villain level bullshit. It makes me
Hugh's-
happy.
It's real
I mean, you
great
certainly
coming.
could be.
It's real great coming back to hear about your DM's daddy issues. But yeah, you know.
I mean, it does
Justifiably,
explain
though.
a lot. It does explain a lot.
I'm sitting here and I'm thinking this to myself. The only deep lore I have is, see that cut in the back of my hand?
Is that your cat?
No, I stuck my hand between the fan blades 2 days ago, and it hit me really hard.
My dad
your
cut
floor?
the tip of his finger off doing that.
Yeah. I was putting my jacket on because I need something with pockets to carry my keys and my wallet in, because all my pants, my work pants rather, don't have that. So
At least you didn't do it intentionally then, because my dad just actively fucking stuck his finger in a massive metal fan when he was in boarding school and chopped the tip of his fucking middle finger off.
Wow. So.
Yeah, my parents have very much learned from experience, because they did.
whatever works, I guess.
But yeah, welcome back everyone to the liberation of St. Cardias Rest.
With the prelude of Hugh's backstory.
Yeah.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Liberation of St. Cardias' Rest episode titled Daddy Issues.
I don't envy anyone who decides to try and dig up my past from what they've heard here, because they're not going to find shit.
Why would we need to dig up anything? At this point, we just ask. Like...
Well, that's why I don't mind telling anyone, because it's pretty fucking hard to connect anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, when we last
Somebody
left
did
off...
manage to... I just want to be there when they see it.
Be a fly on the wall.
Oh my god. Some of the shit he's told me, yeah, no, I want to be there.
But yeah, when we last left off, the team had engaged in a bit of a team-building exercise.
Yeah, that's one way to frame it, I guess.
Constructing, running, then demolishing an assault course.
Hey, I feel very connected to my team.
For what it's worth, Atlas certainly thinks it helped.
But yeah, we return, presumably in the evening, after having run and rerun this assault course multiple times.
Nualia. You're gonna start with Nualia.
Yes.
As of last week.
Yes, while the team were running their exercises, Nualia had things she wanted to do.
Yes.
So, yeah, while the team performs exercises, the occasional yell, shout, maybe the odd explosion as breaching charges are put to use. Yeah, Nualia, you stride through the camp, heading to the chapel, I believe was your first stop.
Yes. Is that this building?
That is indeed.
That's what I thought. Okay.
It is a very large prefab building, made from the same modular kind of 5-meter square structures that pretty much the entire camp is made out of. But it has a large frame over the large double doors at the front with a golden Imperial Aquila suspended from it.
Yep. Nualia pretty much just goes in and, or just goes up to the door and heads inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The doors are open, and you can see a number of troopers, even a couple of officers, kneeling at various pews around the fairly wide space, though the ceiling is still quite low since it's all made from the same modular structures. there's an altar at the far end where you can see the company chaplain currently seeming to be tidying up.
Yeah, she's pretty much gonna go right up to the altar and the chaplain.
All right, let me get the fucking allied NPC notes. There it is.
Actually, this was something that I had said in chat, but I don't think you had time to see it just yet. Was something that I'd been wondering. How common are faith-based abilities like Nualia's martyr ability? Is it a more recent development, or is that something that's been happening for a long time?
In lore, there had always been elements of this occurring. Living saints are regularly attributed with similar miracles. Sisters of the Sororitas, who were particularly pious, had occasionally been attributed with powers of faith. Though it has gotten a lot more common since the Cicatrix Maledictum opened.
Okay.
Like, it used to be a 1 in millions thing, now it's like a 1 in hundreds of thousands.
Okay. So yeah, a lot more common. All right. Excuse me. Then yeah, Nualia goes to the chaplain and just says,
Which one?
the company one, not the regiment one, and says, "Excuse me, Father. Do you have a moment?"
Yeah, the tall, bald man, olive-colored skin, heavily weathered, his arms crisscrossed with scars. He's currently wearing a sleeveless robe in a kind of deep red. His shaven scalp reflects the lumen globe light overhead. He bows to you. Ah, sister, we meet once again. How can I assist you?
I'm trying to remember. Let me check my notes. I bet I have this guy's name somewhere.
If you do, you get a virtual cookie.
Yeah. Dashi. Nope.
It's the blank expression that really makes that statement.
This is not Herodotus Sandar, is it?
Yes, it is.
It is. Okay.
One cookie for you.
Better not be Raisin Bran.
Is
I
it
actually quite like raisin cookies, but
Fucking hate raisin
that's
cookies.
me.
okay? Our relationship
raisin
is
bread.
over. Get out. That's the line.
It's
That.
the raisin cookies.
It's the raisin cookies. Raisin cookies are a lie. They pretend that they're chocolate chip, and that is evil.
Okay, so if someone offered me a cookie and said it was chocolate chip and it turned out to be raisin, I would be disappointed.
Yeah.
However, if someone offered me raisin cookies and they were like the only option or like the alternative was peanut, then yeah, I'd eat them.
No, I get it. I think that they're good if you don't lie about them, and also if they're fresh. Raisin cookies that have, been left out for a little bit or boxed up,
Yeah,
No.
they dry up and get nasty.
yeah, they have to be fresh to be good.
Raisins are illegal, which is why I'm confused why my brain's okay with cranberries. Not in cookies. They're
see,
still not allowed
clearly-
in cookies.
Clearly, you haven't experienced the joy of British cuisine that is raisin puddings, which is literally just raisins soaked in rum overnight and then cooked into like a full crumble style tart.
Y'all
Just
call literally everything
drink
pudding.
alcohol.
Yes, alcohol. That is the British answer
Just
to all
drink
cooking
it.
problems. Alcohol.
Just
Well, that and everything being
at that
pudding.
point.
Just unnecessarily everything is
Well,
pudding.
yeah, that is an
Pudding,
overused
black
word.
Custard, too.
Look, let's just agree that raisin cinnamon bread is great.
No.
Cinnamon bread is
Yeah,
where I
like
will
it.
stop.
Yeah.
The
yeah,
cinnamon
I'm
bread
out.
is good. No.
I don't know. The raisins are fine.
I make homemade cinnamon bread that I roll brown sugar into too, so it's like a cinnamon roll bread.
All I know is that the old people where I work really like.
where you lurk.
Yeah, I lurk at an assisted living facility. Yeah, this is
That's where I
correct.
like to spend my off time.
No,
Deep in
God,
the
no.
shadows of the senior living home.
Fuck, dude.
And that's just in. Mason's the one we need to worry about being a serial killer, not you.
No.
But yeah,
I work there.
Herodotus and inclines his head to you. Go ahead, Nualia.
She's going to nod to him and say, I was wondering if you had a moment to talk. I have been having some troubles and I wouldn't mind some advice.
Most certainly, sister. I have nothing but time.
Well, I say advice. Advice and or... Is there a private praying room here?
Indeed there is. Mainly for the clergy, but I believe you count.
I appreciate it. I may make use of it. But,
He nods and gestures to a door to one side of the altar. It's simply through there.
very well.
The code is 1163. You may enter whenever you feel you need to.
Thank you. I appreciate it. But, the issues that I have been having, it has been not entirely certain how to describe, or even where to begin, really. I have been feeling something of a pull, so to speak. But rather, it's been several different things pulling. On the one hand, I very much feel a sense of duty and obligation towards the regiment that I am assigned to, but also I have been feeling something of a pull towards something else as well, and I am not sure which is what the Emperor wants and which is what I want.
Father Sandar nods sympathetically. Indeed, it is a frightful conundrum that many come across in the line of faith. To balance the pull of one's nature, the way the Emperor created them to be, and what he decides is fit for them. Interpreting his will, well, let's say many claim to know how. Few possess the skill.
I would not disagree with you there.
It is times like this I feel revelation is sought after. A sign from His grace of what is the path that best suits our role. My own order conducts various rituals to achieve this. He gestures with one hand at his scarred forearms. But it is not for everyone. Perhaps you should explore the alternatives of other cultures, other paths of the creed. Perhaps one of them has the answer you seek.
I may. Certainly I have, especially with the Adeptus Dignitas here, it has been tempting to go to them and ask to join back up with more sisters. But perhaps this might be something better preyed on. I think rather than asking with full respect meant to you, or rather no disrespect meant to you, probably better left to ask the Emperor himself rather than ask someone else what they think the Emperor wants me to do.
He gives you a genuine smile. Seems quite warm as he suppresses a little bit of a chuckle. Says, "Well, I never intended to speak on the Emperor's behalf,
Oh, of course.
but indeed, it is a question that one must answer for oneself, I find, though many will try to tell you what is best."
Indeed, I think if I did go to my other to my sister order, I think I know what they would immediately suggest. But yes, I think I shall make use of your prayer room, and thank you very much for allowing me use of it.
Of course, sister. I hope it serves you well.
Thank you. And yep, she will go over, punch in the code, and head inside.
Yep.
And
Yeah. Leaves you to your peace. Inside is a fairly small chamber, about 5 meters by 5 meters, as it is made from the same modular structures. But the inside has been decorated quite copiously, if not opulently, with hand-carven wooden statuettes, and even a few pieces of handmade furniture, including a small altar upon which sits a golden aquila alongside several small carvings of imperial saints and other aquillas.
yeah,
It's
she,
primarily lit by a collection of candles in small candelabras set about the room.
she will probably just take a spot in the center of the room, kneel down, getting on both knees and taking out the prayer beads that she has, holding
As
those in
you,
her hand.
As you kneel down in the center of the room, you find there's a small rectangle of cloth rolled up into a bundle. And as you unwrap it, you find a small block of wood and a small whittling knife.
That sounds familiar. Wasn't one of the I'm trying to remember, wasn't one of the one of our soldiers into whittling?
Indeed.
I don't remember offhand who it was, and I think in that case probably Noalia wouldn't remember either. Might be something that she'll ask about. But yeah, she'll just kind of smile at that, being careful not to disturb the knife or the whittling block. And she, as I said, she just takes out the prayer beads and closes her eyes and begins her prayer, saying, dear great Emperor, beloved husband, I am confused, might be the right word, but I am unsure of what to do. I very much wish to stay with the people of the 999th and continue assisting them, both their spirit and their physical health. But also I feel a pull towards many different places. Towards leaving and as the musical chimes echo through the room. Towards leaving and attempting to rebuild the chapter of the Sisters of the Bleeding Rose, or even to join another another group. Now I am unsure which one is the correct path, which one is the more needed path, or which one maybe you would wish me to take. And I seek only your counsel. And yeah, from there, the prayer probably just goes into more less personal prayers and more what's the word? Prolific prayers.
Fair enough, yeah. You are left in peace for as long as you need.
Yeah, she probably stays there for a good hour. Just praying and thinking. And at the end of the hour, she'll stand up and sigh a bit, and then head back out.
Yeah. Stepping back out into the chapel, not a lot has changed. Some new soldiers are currently praying in the pews. Father Xander has moved to cleaning one of the corners of the room. Seems to be making his way around the perimeter.
Mm-hmm.
Just reminded me I need to meet this guy at some point.
She will nod to Zandabar and possibly a few of the soldiers and head back out of the chapel.
Yep. You step out into the, well, cool night air, as it is still dark.
Mm-hmm.
The moon is just beginning to rise over the western horizon. Flood lamps illuminate the majority of the camp, and regular vehicles pass by carrying supplies or troopers to and fro.
Yep. She'll probably look around for a minute. Sigh once more and probably head for the HQ building.
Alright. Not difficult. Cross the parade ground. 2 guards on duty outside the doors to the HQ give you a salute as you approach.
Yep. She salutes back to them. And
Yep. You step inside into a sort of waiting room space. Couple of chairs line one wall. There's a small desk with a trooper looking very despondent at the desk, currently keying in strings of data into a cogitator on the desk.
she goes up to him and says, "Is everything all right?"
Oh, sister, sorry, didn't mean to put you off or anything. No, it's fine. Just boring, desk duty.
No, think nothing of it. I saw the look on your face and was a bit concerned. I thought something might have happened, though I'm sure it would not be my clearance level, come to think of it.
No, nothing that I need to worry about. Just, he lifts a stack of papers that's like 3 inches thick and plonks it on the table. Just gotta enter these by the end of the shift.
Excuse me. Good luck with that, then. But,
I'm gonna need it. Thank you, sister. Can I help you with anything?
Possibly two things. I wondered if the commander might be available for just a moment.
That'd be 13th Company, Versailles, right?
Yes.
He keys something into the cogitator in his desk. The screen flickers, displays a ream of data, which he reads through quickly. No, he's currently free. I believe he's in his office.
Ah. Then would it be possible to go and meet with him for a moment?
I'll just check with him quickly. He
Thank you.
presses another key and holds up a headset off the desk. Says, Commander, Sister Nualia. He glances over you to check that's right.
She nods.
Sister Nualia here to see you, sir. Yes? Of course, sir. Yes, you are free to enter right away. Just down the corridor, third door on the right.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And
He gives you a salute. Not a problem, sister.
before I go and see him, one other thing. Ingencia Riven, is she still on the base?
Currently, yes. He pauses a moment, taps out on the keyboard again. Can't tell you where, though. It's marked classified. Strategos. Sorry.
No, of course. I heard of the promotion. I was present when it happened, but no, just I suppose if a message could be sent to her.
I can certainly do my best.
Of course. Just asking her to meet with me, say around dinner, to have that chat we said we would have.
Certainly, sister. I'll do my best to get it to her, but it'll have to go through normal channels. Might take a few hours, a little more. I'll do my best to push it.
That's quite all right. No, I appreciate anything that you can do. Yes, thank you very much. I hope you have a good day. And yeah,
Thank you, sister. May the Emperor be with you.
with you as well. Yeah, she'll head to Versailles' room.
Yep. You head down the corridor, passing a military clerk. He quickly presses himself against the wall out of your way as you pass, clutching a collection of data slates to their chest.
She'll make. It's probably awkward because as he's doing that, Nuali is probably also doing that, just like making room for him to pass. And she's like, "Oh, sorry," and just sidles past.
He mumbles something non-committal and quickly ducks out of view. But yeah, you knock on the door, I presume?
Yes, and
Yeah.
just to be sure, she is not in her power armor for this. She's just in regular vestments.
Fair. Yeah, you knock on the door. There's a brief pause before you hear the commander's familiar voice. Enter, sister.
And she opens the door, heads inside, closes it behind her.
Yeah. If you've seen one military office, you've seen them all. It's cramped, everything's bare metal, there's not a whole lot in the way of decoration.
Yeah.
Commander Versailles sits behind his desk, a cogitator mounted into the surface in front of him. He, has his legs crossed, seems to be lounging a little more casually. What can I do for you then, sister?
Ah, it's a pleasure to see you, Commander. I was hoping you would have a minute, just...
Yes, certainly. Please, Versailles, you're not one of the rank and file. You don't have to lay on ceremony here. Pull up a chair.
Very well, then. No, yeah, she'll pull a chair out and take a seat. And, she looks to Versailles for a moment, hesitating before continuing on. She says, I'm assuming that either you have debriefed Flux or seen the reports of our mission?
I have indeed. To think of Xenos hiding among a tiny village in the front lines.
It is extremely worrying, but to be honest, quite a few of the details of that mission are worrying. Both with the discovery of the enemy troops, but also some of the implications behind both how the Xenos got to the village, as well as some of the equipment the Xenos was using. Considering... Sorry, go ahead, you were about to say something.
Versailles nods. There had been a few things about the report that had concerned me as well. The Strategos is rumbling about a traitor regiment, based on the reports you gave of those troopers.
Indeed. If you or any of the Strategos wish, there is not much that I know of them. I could not give history or background or anything like that, but I have seen them in combat. I can at the very least advise on tactics and their modus operandi.
Yes, a first-hand report from someone outside the chain of command could be useful. As I understand it, they laid quite a decisive trap for you.
Something like that. During our mission, yes, they were well prepared for the idea of enemy engagement, of anyone finding them. Considering how everything was set up, it is quite obvious that it was not meant for them to necessarily escape unless they had killed the people who had found them.
Yes, your report indicates there were no convenient exits.
None.
The Sergeant Major reports a potential underwater hiding space, but you found no one there.
Found no one there. There was also evidence that the Habho itself had been there in the cave and may have been utilizing the underwater reservoir as a home.
That may have been why they chose that particular place to unleash it.
Indeed, though...
Yeah, the report indicates the outer tunnel showed signs of working.
Yes. There was the primary cave itself that led to more of their radio equipment, their storage. That was where we battled them and finished them off. But then further, it did seem as though the cave did not naturally lead to the water reservoir. Instead, they had drilled down to it.
Sounds like they enlarged it specifically for this purpose.
Indeed.
Quite a concerted effort to deliver a highly dangerous creature behind our lines.
Considering the destructive potential of the creature, unorthodox, but quite possibly effective.
Yes, unfortunately it's paid off. I received the reports earlier today. 200 casualties when it hit the front lines.
Oh dear Emperor.
It tore through one of our fortified bunkers, ripped it apart, split it open. Ate half the troopers stationed. We hit it with a round of artillery, but it was the squats that brought it down. The Abhuman regiment, you met them, I believe.
Indeed. They took one of ours with them. I'm actually curious, would you know if Agreltrom survived that encounter?
He pauses for a moment and leans forward and starts typing a few things out on the cogitator on his desk. The screen flickers and a scroll of data runs across. You see a lot of names. But Versailles reads through it remarkably quickly as it scrolls faster for you to catch. You can only pick out individual names.
Oh man, yeah.
When it finishes, he
I
shakes his head.
I imagine a commander would be really good at reading the list of deceased in every single encounter of the Imperium.
Go ahead and give me an awareness roll.
Okay.
Of finely honed art.
Yeah. Let's see. 2 with a glory.
Since you got a glory, I'll give you this one. His left eye, the pupil, flickers ever so slightly, like a tiny shutter.
Yep. Okay. It makes sense he would have some augmentation.
But yeah, once it's finished scrolling, he shakes his head. He's not on the casualty report, though apparently they lost an entire rhino in the engagement.
I am not surprised at that, though I am gladdened to know that he did survive that encounter.
Yes, I'm glad our abhuman platoon is a little less, shall we say, free-spirited.
Maybe so, but I wonder how they lost the rhino. Did Agril drive it into the Habho? I wouldn't put it past him.
The report was unsurprisingly vague.
Of course it was. Well, as upsetting as the loss of such good equipment is, at least they were able to take it down.
Indeed, the Strategos are swarming over it. They sent an entire platoon's worth of analysts.
But, it was not just that, though. The fact that they had what seemed to be cobbled together Xenos tech to assist them as well.
Versailles' look goes very grim at that mention. He gives you a very small nod. Yes, I can't speak too freely on the subject,
Of course.
but let us say the Strategos are aware of what they're dealing with. They just haven't seen fit to tell the rest of us yet.
Of course. But I will admit even that much I had not been aware that they had. I'm not necessarily surprised, but it suggests quite a great deal about both them, their reach, but also the state of our current engagement as it is.
So he nods. Again, I can't go into much detail, but the rules of this war are about to change drastically.
Meaning no disrespect, but I thought that immediately after we discovered what was happening on Mount's Edge.
Yes, Mount's Edge was troublesome, but it was a lone event. I can tell you now, there had been little other lead up to such a travesty upon our soil.
Maybe, but it is only a lone event until they perform the next one, and considering they were willing to perform one at all, I have a feeling means we'll be seeing a lot more, not to mention the group that we had encountered, the soldiers. Those are not, as I'm sure you are aware by this point, those are not merely rebels. They've got far worse things working with them.
Yes, I cannot argue with your assessment. But for now, we must maintain the morale of our men.
Of course.
We cannot let rumors of potential hazards in the future distract from the real hazards they face now.
No, of course. The only person I'd spoken at all with about this was Flux, and that was only as soon as we'd seen everything and were going to investigate their rendezvous.
This is all a prelude to something much larger. I fear we're not prepared for it when it comes, but He gives a very dry grin that doesn't quite reach his eyes. When has the Astra Militarum ever been ready for what it faces?
I cannot speak to that, having not been a member of the Astra Militarum, but I am sure with the amount of guns we regularly bring, even if we're not ready, we can at least bloody the enemy's noses.
That is the best we can hope awaits us. To work valiantly in the Emperor's name.
Though, there have been a few things that I admit have concerned me, as we've steadily discovered more and more about this engagement. Part of it did happen on the last mission, but also the Mechanicum priests that we recovered, took prisoner, cooperated with on the previous mission. The fact that they seemed wholly unaware of who exactly it was they were working with. Even some reports that I have heard from Riven and some of the others who helped infiltrate enemy bases showed that quite a few of the rebel rank and file think they are serving the Imperium. They have Emperor shrines, they talk of us as though we are heretics, they as I said, they think they are serving the Imperium and the Emperor. And then the radio the Xenos had, with it being, from what I understand, enough to contact quite possibly someone at the enemy front lines or some other group that may have been in the area.
It's all smacks of conspiracy, I must agree, but that is what the Logia Strategos are for.
Of course. To be quite sincere with you, I think the biggest concern I have is the idea that one of our ships in orbit may begin firing on the rest, but hopefully it won't come to that.
Yes. Well, we shall see. Something is going to happen soon. We can bet on that.
Indeed.
Quite frankly, the militia are losing this war. We
Indeed.
are dominating in every field. It has been, as some of the rookies like to say, a cake run. Which means something much worse must be in store. You
course.
would have to be a fool to think you could take a world like this with so little resistance.
Of course. We're pushing closer and closer onto their capital and to their leader. I cannot imagine that this is either not part of some plan, or that in their desperation they're not going to try far worse.
In my opinion, and I have stated this to command, much good it did, this was never meant to be the killing blow. This revolution, it's all a time-saving act for something else. I don't know what yet.
I have heard tell of heretic forces using engagements as methods of sacrificing. One wonders if they're not using the chaos and the loss of life from all of these engagements as fuel for something worse than what happened at Mount's Edge.
Versailles grimaces openly at that. Well, if it comes to that, I fear I cannot imagine the issues I will have to deal with at that point.
Hopefully you will not be dealing with them alone.
Well, until the Inquisition tells me to worry about such things, I'm going to pray that is not the case.
Of course. I don't suppose... I don't know whether or not you would even be able to answer this question, but I'll ask it anyway. With the revelation of the shape-shifting Xenos, are we conducting tests amongst our own?
He gives you a long look and says, well, I can tell you there are going to be several wide-sweeping changes made to military doctrine in this engagement in the near future.
That makes sense. It is a comfort.
We have yet to see what shape they will all take yet. If the strategists are right in what they keep spreading rumors among my staff about, then there will be some significant changes to how we operate.
Would it be wrong of me to wish that one of those changes might be our regiment doing going back to something as simple as charging the front lines again? I almost miss that.
You almost miss the slight glint in Versailles' eye. I can assure you that need will be fulfilled very soon.
I look forward to that then. Then...
For now, enjoy your time off while you can. You won't get much of it after this.
I am sure, one way or the other. Good luck to you, Versailles. The Emperor be with you, and may he keep you safe.
May he guide your path, sister. I hope it steers you to an answer to whatever troubles you.
I only hope that answer is not what I fear, but I fear that is what will happen.
Well, it is not our place to decide whether his path is suitable for us.
No,
We
of
can only
course.
do or die.
Of course. And yeah, with that, she'll get up and head back out.
Yeah? Anywhere else you'd like to go?
What's the name of the regiment that we have a rivalry with? Was that the 37th?
The 37th, yep.
That was the 37th, okay.
Well, it's not a regiment, it's a platoon. But yeah.
Platoon, my bad. But, I think she's probably just gonna head back to the 999th barracks at that point. Actually, no. She's gonna do the one thing that she has done over and over to calm her mind and steady her nerves. She's gonna go to the hospital and offer some more time with them.
Fair enough. Yeah. As you step into the medical center, most of it seems to be long-term care for patients undergoing extreme surgeries after severe injuries.
Mm-hmm.
But most of them are in like the recovery period. There's not a whole lot of like urgent care that needs to be done, but there's plenty of busy work to do.
Yeah, she's quite happy to do any of it, whether that be helping patients out with whatever need be, even just being a spiritual counsel, or if it's getting into the surgery room and rolling up her sleeves.
Yeah. There is much call for most of your skill set, really. Just in various small capacities. Some of the patients aren't pleased about their prospects of survival, so they seek counsel. Some of the staff want a second opinion on the treatments they've used, etc.
Yeah.
After a while of this, the chief medicae of the camp approaches you, clears his throat. Sister, I wanted to thank you for the quite impressive workload you have taken on during your time here. In 2 days, you have seen to half my patient list. It normally takes me a week.
I was just gonna say, has it already been 2 days? Jeez. Or is he talking about, like, previous times that I've come?
Your
since?
previous time here as well.
Yeah. Yeah, Nualia just smiles and takes gives him a small bow and says, "I'm only too happy to help out. In all honesty, it is not entirely selfless of me, but I still am glad to help."
Well, officially, you're not technically supposed to be receiving merits for work outside of your duty roster. But I took the liberty of tracking just to see what would happen. You've actually racked up quite an amount. Officially now, of course, I'm not supposed to really do this, but you've done so much to assist everyone here, and you have unequivocally saved several lives. I would be more than happy to offer the supplies of the Medicae wing to your service, should you need it.
Ah.
As much as we can spare, of course.
Oh, of course.
But I will, of course, give you preferential options. You, as I said, have done so much for the people here, and the regiment as a whole. I couldn't let it go unrewarded.
Yeah, Nualia's kind of blinks, her mouth just kind of stuck open for a second. She's just like, that, excuse me, that's most unexpected, though I am very grateful, thank you.
Well, you have racked up a total of 8 hours of surgery time, off record, so that's a full 100 merits there. That's more than suitable for a little preferential treatment, I figure.
Well, I very much appreciate that. I more than likely will take you up on that. Of course, I will not ask for more than you can spare, but we do suffer our fair share of debilitating injuries. It would be good to have some better supplies for that.
He nods. It is not worth handing out chirurgeon kits to every medicus on the front lines, but those who know how to use them can do far more with them on the lines than they can back here.
Then yes, tell you what, if I may be so bold as to at least take something at the moment.
Of course, whatever you need.
And I'm trying to remember, did I use up my chirurgeon kit before, or is that just a thing that I have?
The chirurgeon kit is like surgeon's tools,
Okay.
which allows you to perform like field surgery.
Yeah, it's the med
Like,
kits that I can run out
The bits
of.
you would run out would all be in the med kit. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. She actually, yeah, she's gonna probably take, at the moment, just enough for like 2 more med kits. Nothing big.
Yeah. He happily pulls out a couple of medkits from one of the storage closets, hands them over. Oh, certainly, a couple of medkits, that's the least we could offer.
I appreciate it. I will be honest with you. I am intending, and have gotten permission for this, I am intending to see who amongst our regiment would do well as field medics, and I'm intending to train them up on that, though of course I do not think that anyone will be using a chirurgeon's kit anytime soon.
Well, if you have a recommendation, I could see if I could bump them up the line to get some expedient training.
I have not seen them yet, so I will give them a test of my own and then come and speak with you.
Of course, certainly.
Thank you very much again. And she gives him another bow and then hesitates and just offers her hand in a handshake.
Yeah, he gratefully takes it with a fairly broad grin and gives you a hand a firm shake. He looks to be about in his middle years, getting on a bit, starting to grey at the temples, but this seems to be a bit of a highlight for his day.
Yes, I look forward to doing further work here as well, as much as I can spare. This is, as I said, it is not entirely selfless reasons that I come here. This is more comfortable than you would imagine for me.
Well, you have more than proven yourself in my eyes. Treat my staff and my surgery as your own.
Now, don't go saying that. I might take you up on it.
Well, I'd rather you didn't interfere with my personal work, but
No, of course.
aside from that, feel free.
No, I would never seek to interfere, but any assistance that I can give, please, don't hesitate to ask.
Of course, sister. It would be most welcome.
And yeah, with that, she'll head back to the barracks with that.
Yeah, fair enough. Are you gonna wait in the barracks for the others to return then?
Yeah, for the moment.
Fair enough. Yeah, you kick up your heels, have a nap, smoke a joint in private. I don't know, whatever you do.
Is that what you call prayer now?
I mean, who knows what nuns do in privacy?
I actually,
Like,
I could.
You know, they grow tomatoes in one vegetable patch, they grow weed in the other.
Yeah, you know, I probably actually could ask my mother about that. She took a not quite a vacation, but it was something of a mission trip to Ireland and stayed with a bunch of nuns and monks. And yeah, they got a lot of fucking stories, man.
Yeah, I was gonna say, which kind of nun was it? Is it the fun Irish nuns who get drunk on a Saturday because they don't consider it breaking God's rules, or is it the shitty kind of nuns who beat children?
Oh no, this was the kind of nun that openly talks about the affairs that they've had and the lovers that they have in the next village over.
Yeah, that sounds pretty Irish.
They seemed
Ah, good for them. Sounds like fun.
Oh yeah, they seemed like really good people.
But yeah, after probably 4 or 5 hours after you get back to the barracks, the 999th platoon returns. The majority of them drenched to the bone after being hosed down and pretty worn out by the looks of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of splatting in through the door, dripping as they go.
She'll get up from her meditations and greet them. But yeah.
Did you say treat or greet?
Greet. Greet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She'll
Sorry.
greet
You all have
them.
hypothermia.
Everyone to the space heater now. No. But yeah, no, she gets up, nods to them, probably fetches a towel or two to put the towels down.
Yeah. A couple of some of the old guard give you a weary smile and a wave, but most of them just kind of trudge over to their bunks, strip down, and start toweling themselves off.
Yep. It seems I have missed quite a bit.
Merely a training exercise.
Brother
I've
Alex,
done
we
one of
understand
those
that
things.
we understand that they're important to your order, but why do the young women have to have? You say they were called cat ears attached?
I'm sorry, what?
Brother Alex was telling us about the intricacies of his order and his order. You told us of something that he referred to as cat girls? Is this correct, Brother Atlas?
I heard. I need you to tell me exactly what you said because I heard cat girls and that was it.
Yeah, that was literally it.
It was pretty
like-
much saying she was saying that that Brother Atlas was talking about the intricacies of his order, and he mentioned something about cat girls.
She's calling you a weeb, man.
Okay. I was a little confused. He says, and I think he's confused. He was like, oh, yes, no, I was trying to explain. It has nothing to do with my order, but rather the world it's on. There's I forget the official name of the species.
We misunderstood.
Do you mean
I
the
see.
Felinids?
Yes, that's them. That's must have been what I was speaking of. There are some resident to Briar's Peak, though. Not
Ah.
many. The climate is quite poor for their kind.
Ah,
Avery, have you seen the Warhammer Felinids?
No, but I.
Have you seen my Felinids?
that's the thing is,
What?
I don't think there is
That's
any
like-
actual official artwork about them. Is
Oh
there?
yeah. Okay.
There's,
They're just.
there's no
they're just
official
capitals.
art. There's
Yeah.
a lot of homebrew art.
yeah.
However, I have a home rule saying anyone who wants to play a Felonid has to play my Felonids,
All right.
Which is
which are the
Yeah.
Felonids from text-to-speech device.
cat body,
You.
human head.
Yep.
You
All right.
do you subscribe to the thought that the fish planet people are shark people? 'Cause I love
I
that.
mean, canonically, they do exist. Shark people are a registered abhuman species.
Yes. Dude, if Atlas goes down, I'm playing that next. I'm playing
But-
Shark Man.
My only reason for my Felonid rule is because too many of my players like playing stupid things for the memes,
Mhm.
and the opportunity to play a
Fuck
cat
you.
girl is too
I
fucking
only
strong.
asked for one stupid character, and that was Gary. Mason
not
got
even-
me both of his.
I'm not even talking about
Wait.
you. I'm talking about Kira and
Oh,
Mason
yeah.
and
Favorite
Jack.
motherfucker.
Oh yeah,
but
Jack
look,
and-
How
Jack
come you
and
never
Kira
let me have my
especially.
stupid thing, but
Yeah.
all the fucking tentacle bullshit with Kira and Jack's just fine.
and
Sorry,
look,
did you say technical
you-
bullshit?
I only did it once, and I didn't even like it at the end of the day. It didn't pan out how I wanted.
That's
How do you not
what
know
he
that
said.
you like tentacle bullshit?
Phrasing.
I
Yeah,
don't. I was
phrasing.
playing a trash creature.
Oh, okay. So
Thank
what was
you.
the race?
It's called a hood.
Oh,
Oh,
no,
yeah.
sorry, it was a
Yeah.
bad joke. All right.
Yeah, bendy armed
You play
aliens.
favorites.
Yeah.
I don't play favorites.
But-
I just have specific
but
things I
have
really
an
don't
announcement for
like.
Kira. Yeah, your specific things you don't like is stupid shit, except that only has applied when I'm the person that asked for the stupid shit. So I
No,
don't
no,
wanna hear
no.
it.
Kira asked
Kira,
for
I
a
finally
felon.
got Gary.
Kira asked for a felonid, and I gave her that image.
That actually would be very cool in like that kind of felonid in power armor that was trying to pass as human.
Kanuta,
Yeah.
finally got Gary.
That's the duck, right? Or the goose?
That's the goose.
The bounty
hate
hunter
that
goose
Gary.
with a crossbow on his back.
I'm still not allowed to play Gary, but now we have a Gary. Hugh gave us an automaton goose.
Hmm.
I also made it incredibly violent.
It's a goose. That makes sense.
My character has been concussed once already. We've only had it for like a session and a half.
I really liked the duality of that session. You messing with the goose, and then me, Marty, and Crunch going to a tailory, getting an Ogren-sized suit for him. It was great.
Fridays are weird.
Yeah, sounds like it. All right.
These are great.
I like to make freeform campaigns when I can. This is the most structured I've ever made a campaign.
It's working really well. Like,
Mhm.
surprisingly well.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's working out pretty well so far. But
Yeah.
yes, returning to the bedraggled 999th in their barracks.
No, I was just gonna finish by saying, yes, Fenlin, we treat them, but the mountainous air is little good to them.
We would imagine, given how small their bodies were, as you described. They sound hard
Some
to
of them are
find
different.
references.
Since no one is trying to play a villain, I will allow in canon in this universe to actually follow real
No.
canon.
No,
Things.
you're not
I mean-
allowed.
Listen, I'll run with whatever you give me, so it doesn't matter.
Atlas just says, I only had the pleasure of seeing 2, and they seemed quite conventional to me. Mostly human-shaped, more hair. But this was not an up-close thing. As far as I know, there's currently none in the Order. I don't know if that's because none have joined or other forces bar them.
My only real question is, are they as adorable as real cats?
He shrugs. I cannot speak to this. But
we can. We
I-
highly doubt they would be that there's illnesses.
Say that last part again?
We hardly doubt that they are nearly as adorable as.
Maybe.
She
I
walked off to a bunk.
yeah. Atlas finished up says, I can only speak to the fact that I had known certain individuals who obsessed over them to an unhealthy degree, so there must be something with which to draw the eye of man to them.
Yes,
Oh, human.
toxoplasmosis.
God? Big E? I didn't need you to tell me that.
Toxoplasmosis apparently
I know.
affecting humans makes them more
Yep.
likely to take risks, but also more attracted to cats for some reason.
Yep.
Weird. I still love the idea that if your Felinids are the same ones from Texas Speech Device, then arguably in this universe it is canon that the Emperor started his Webway project to get Eldar booty.
That is the compromise we will have to make. I mean, let's be honest, his son followed immediately in his footsteps as soon as he woke up, so
Yeah.
clearly there's something there.
Yes. Once Atlas is like sufficiently dried, he'll readorn the proper raiments and he'll look around and say, but just kind of advertise real quick. If any of you wish, I will be briefly holding confessionals for the evening. I will be in a small tent on the outside. You'll see incense smoke coming from it. And he kind of takes his leave to go set himself up.
Fair enough. Flux, Gallows, and Nualia, what are you guys doing?
Alex is still simping, but that's for something else.
Noelle kind of gives a salute to Flux and says, "Did the training exercise go well? I apologize for having missed it."
It was surprisingly pleasant.
Did it,
Though,
I was going to ask, did it feature more of, showing the 37th just how good they are?
Flux is just gonna give a grin. I don't know what you're talking about. They were very helpful in our training exercise.
I'm sure that they were most pleased at having been able to assist.
I was wondering, if you have a minute, I'd like to see you in my office.
That is good. There was something that I wished to discuss with yourself and Officer Framt.
I forgot to recollect my staff. There's just an errant staff in the office now.
Flux would be the kind of person that would get bored at 3 a.m. and be like, I could make this work, and then just cut themselves trying to do the staff things. Just like laying in bed. I could do it. No, I could do it.
I'm gonna make it work instead of bringing it back to its owner. It's mine now.
Genuine.
Gremlin.
Flux is the kind of person that would forget it's there until 4 a.m. Look over it and be like, ooh. Ooh. I'll not touch it. Is Frampt with us? Question mark?
Yes, he is. Equally as sodden as the rest of you, though he has
Can I
divested
get to
himself of his
spray him?
heavy. He's currently carrying his heavy coat.
Did I get to spray him?
I would say he would probably ask you to be the one to do it.
I had been spraying the whole squad anyways. That's
Is
delightful.
Flux-
I love
Is Flux soaked? Is the real question.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
the whole platoon is drenched to the bone. Everyone was in the mud at some point.
That's what I thought.
Flux
I just couldn't
did,
remember.
you know the chair scene where they pull the thing and lay back? Just did that with the hose.
Oh.
Dirty dancing. Gotcha.
Yeah, Flux will look over at Frampt. Do you have a minute?
Well, my uniform isn't getting any more wet, so why not?
And, yeah, we'll head to Lay office.
Yeah, he follows you in, drops his coat over the back of the chair, it squelches. He kind of sighs a little at that, then sits in the chair, pulls his boots off and empties the water out.
Now I have to ask, why didn't you take the coat off before the exercise? Since you knew.
The whole point was to do it in full battle dress. Your men and you had to run it in full armor with a kit bag. It was only fair that I run it in my uniform as well, and I would not discard my coat of office on a battlefield.
That's fair. Seems so bulky, though. Must get in the way.
Well,
Arguably, the aesthetics of how the commissariat looks are just as important as their ability to do anything else.
very true. However, he leans over and knocks a finger on your chest plate, Flux. Yours may be hard and bulky. Mine is woven into the coat.
Yeah. Anything for that dramatic swoosh.
You'd be surprised how many nascent uprisings have been quelled by a good coat swish.
How do you confirm this?
Drill the swoosh.
Pardon, Alex?
Did you have to drill the swoosh?
No. It's not something we're taught. It's something you
it's
pick
just
up
something
watching
you
the
practice
older
in your
commissars.
private time.
It just comes naturally to all of the commissariats, does it?
I wish that were true, but no, the Sergeant Major is correct. I spent a time in my youth where I did indeed practice in front of a mirror with my drill coat.
That is glorious. I appreciate you more just for that.
Commissar,
Everybody had dreams growing up. I just happened to be living mine.
Commissar Frampt, you might have to be careful exactly what you tell, otherwise people are going to start thinking you're adorable rather than intimidating.
Well, in my experience, I don't want to be scaring the command cadre. I want to be working with you. Too much friction otherwise. You leave me out of the loop, I don't know what's going on, I misinterpret one of your orders, I kill
Flux
somebody
just
in
gonna
the
be
execution of my
slowly
duties.
just sinking in their chair.
You know, the traditional rigmarole that's given all commissars a bad name. I have to follow out my duties, and if that involves executing somebody because I don't know what's happening, then that causes problems for everyone.
This is fair. I'm glad that, well, I think taking your office more seriously is the wrong words. Taking it more intelligently.
I try. Part of a younger generation, you might say. Commissar Kane wrote several fine books on the subject.
He's a fucking millennial commissar.
This actually makes me wonder if Commander Gaunt wrote anything.
Commander Gaunt's Tacticus is a widely held source of tactical doctrine when facing heretic infantry forces.
That makes sense. They are quite the accomplished group.
Indeed. Colonel Commissar Gaunt is an oddity among many oddities, to be sure.
Indeed.
Though, I suppose, an oddity you are somewhat familiar with, sister.
She just kind of smiles and says, "Indeed, our own order was not the most well respected for that oddity, but
Oh, well, I was
Yes.
referring to the fact that you held both command and rank within the Astra Militarum without actually being a commander or rank-holding official.
That is fair. I appreciate the clarification. Then, yes, though certainly I did not perform as well as Commissar Gaunt did.
Well, few can hold themselves to the legends of giants.
This is fair. Yes. So what was it that you wished to talk about, Flux?
I wanted to speak about responsibilities and roles going forward from here.
Very well.
During this last mission, I've had a bit of time to think, and I'm moving Lanewald to being my second.
Very well.
Entirely.
Understood.
I'd prefer you to be focusing more on your abilities as a sororitas, which means I want you to be freed up to engage medically and spiritually with the group. I still want you in the cadre, obviously, but in terms of direct interactions with the squad, I'm going to be moving you a little bit out of a direct command.
Understood.
With that, I would also like you to start picking out people, especially from Squad 2, that can fill your role if you are to leave us.
I was going to bring that up as well. Was looking at people from both squads who might do well as field medics. Which you will actually
Definitely appreciate that.
you will actually be happy of something. I have a little bit of news on that. The chief medical officer here at the hospital has seen fit to let me know that any particular choices that I might have amongst our squads for field medics might be able to receive expedited training as part of his gratitude for the work that I have done with them.
Do you sleep?
Not often.
What are you on? What are you taking? Who gave you stims?
It's not stims, it's many gallons of recaf.
You know, at that point, you might as well just take stims.
I feel like the recaf is a little less long-term dangerous.
I've seen someone kick it for drinking too much of that.
Well, I'm sure. I've also seen people kick it for taking too much stim.
Yeah, but you don't need to take as much to get the level of effect you're going for with a gallon of recap.
To be fair, that gallon was over the course of a week.
You're full of shit and you know it. It was half. I was watching. I saw you refill it.
But yes, I will certainly, probably after the troops have had some rest, I will start testing all of them to see who would be good for field medics. I'll even look at the tank crew to see which one of them might be good to teach. I'm sure they'll need one.
Yeah. Generally speaking, I'm going to be leaning into Lanewald and Framt's knowledge on this, but while on base, we're going to be starting a more tight schedule of training.
Understood.
On that note, I was actually thinking, it's 2 hours before lights out. I think I could run the platoon through a couple of breakdown and reassembly drills with their rifles. I want to pay particular note to Private Feely.
Yes, I would also like your opinion on. I have the wrong Google Doc open. Give me a minute.
Out of character, I am very glad that I took the time to go through all of that breakdown drill with Feely while Commissar Frampt was in Flux's office. He's gonna get a shock and be like, "Wait, did I see what I thought I saw?"
That face when no have rifle, only pistol. Got him.
You can break that and reassemble it as well.
I could actually probably break down the staff. and
So, to be
reassemble
fair,
that.
a las pistol is about the same number of parts as a las rifle, they're just smaller.
Yeah.
So it's actually harder.
I would also appreciate if you would keep an eye on New Bell and Leisure. They're equally as inexperienced as Feely, from what I've seen, and could use the extra help. I want them up with the rest of the squad.
Certainly. I will add them to the list.
I think, sorry, since I didn't mention it earlier, I think Gallows is just meditating on the floor. Just in a really, like, conspicuous and weird place.
So
Laying in the middle of the barrack, just spread eagle.
No, no, not
Here's-
spread eagle. She's like she's sitting down cross-legged. You know, probably normal meditation, whatever normal meditation stance looks like. But that's just what she's doing. She's not moving.
just
You're
a
probably
side
getting
thing,
a fairly wide berth from most of the squad.
I find it funny that yet again, Gallows and Atlas are doing much the similar. The only difference is that Atlas is in a fucking tent instead.
There's a lot of difference in the why of the meditation, but yes.
Yeah, but in the actions themselves, it's
Yes.
a fair bit of
An
similarity.
interesting parallel.
I
yes.
also, just like as a headcanon, I imagine that like a teacup and Gallows' cat goes floating by at some point.
Probably, yes. The cat is largely unconcerned. Thelanos is used to this sort of bullshit.
Oh yeah.
On top of that, I would like your aid in requisitions yet again.
Very well. Just tell me what you need, and I will see if we can get it.
I will get you a list in the morning.
Sounds good. The other great thing with that is, as for medical supplies, if we cannot get something directly from the quartermaster, I might be able to get it from the hospital. That was the other thing that they were willing to do for me.
So we can get you stims to feed your addiction. That's great.
It's recaf.
It's okay,
I need
we'll
to go
get
through the
there.
cafeteria.
It's alright, you'll be fine, I promise. On that note, anything else that I have completely forgotten outside of my paperwork, I'll get there.
Not that I can think of, Sergeant Major.
Nothing that you've forgotten, though I did have something to talk with both yourself and Frampt about. Or rather, to show you.
Okay.
This will be a strange request, but I ask you to trust me with this one. Do either of you have a knife?
From
Just immediately
raises
go.
power. Yeah,
You don't
probably
see
got
where it
something.
came from, but you're probably sure there's a lot more. Somewhere.
Yeah, Nualia is going to nod, look to Flux and say, "Slash your palm open, please."
Oh, come on, I've already almost died for you once.
No, it's not. As I said, please just trust me on this.
Yeah, I'll just grab it and pull.
Something enough to do like a wound of damage.
I assume.
Yeah.
And Noalia will nod again. She will close her eyes and offer up a prayer. Kitty! Kitty! The Felinids have come.
Oh boy.
Confirmed, we're getting Felinid auxiliaries. No,
Cat.
our Felinid auxiliaries are Mason and Hughes cats. But,
Gabriel would be the worst auxiliary unit on the planet.
I got a really young Struxus hanging out, too.
But yeah, Noalia will close her eyes, offer up a prayer, saying, Emperor, please, let your power flow through me and heal these people. And when she opens her eyes, the golden tears will come out again, flow over to Flux's hand, kind of infuse into the wound and close it back up.
We already have one psyker. Get the fuck out.
I am not sure that it is Psyker things.
At least I'm not the only one that something went fucked up at Mount's Edge. How come you got through?
I did not gain this at Mount's Edge, actually. This started happening with the mission to get the God Engine.
Delayed release?
As I
Corruption bullshit?
As I said, I do not think that this is warp related. This
Every
is
weird is warp related.
not necessarily. Some of it is Emperor related. This
Isn't that
is
still warp related? Framped, is that still warp related?
I must admit, this sounds and looks awfully like the work of psychers.
Noalia nods and says, I understand the worries, and I will, of course, submit myself to psychic inspection if it will allay your fears. But it has been known for individuals of great faith to be able to do things that psychers cannot, to be able to call upon the Emperor to perform different miracles. Though I would not call crying on a wound to close it a miracle necessarily.
Are you
I've
trying to tell
heard.
me you're a saint?
I sincerely hope not.
I have heard nursery rhymes and bedtime stories of the sort, but never seen such a thing in person. However, we can lay this issue to rest, as we now have a platoon psyker.
Indeed. If we wish to call Gallows in to check me for psychic influence, then by all means. If it is psychic influence, then I will submit myself.
I'm gonna ask a dumb question, because clearly I don't know how this works. Did all psychers know how to do that? Or... because they had a specialty one scrub my brain out.
Well, all psychers can perceive the warp in some fashion. The rituals to bind and seal are very different, and only a few know them, that is true, but that's not what we need here. We simply need eyes that you or I do not possess.
Fuck it. Yeah, we'll go to the door. Gallows?
You
What you doing over there?
We are
Sees the cat floating by.
merely passing the time.
You can see sorry, keep
Do
going.
you require our use?
Yeah, I'm gonna need you a minute.
Of course.
Then she gets up and gently picks up the cat, sets it down, lets the teacup fall, but catches it as it falls, places it down.
Where'd she get a teacup?
Yeah,
Look.
That's my
sure.
question.
This is not ours, teacup.
the
It merely gravitated.
the warp is strange.
Well, every trooper is given a mess kit which has a tin cup, but I wouldn't call it a teacup.
This is probably like someone's nice teacup. It's probably like Boulart's or something that just sort of gravitated. She wasn't really looking for it. It just kind of happened.
But yeah,
Also,
you
Hugh,
can.
curiosity. Can I just cast Sign of Science for free, like whenever?
Yes.
Oh,
It is
sick.
not technically a power, it's just you looking at the warp. So yeah, you
Oh.
can do it whenever for free and can't perils.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Sentience is just like, oh, woo, what's this?
Yeah.
It's opening your third eye in a pseudo-literal sense.
Oh, do I need? It has a DN. Do I treat it as though it's a power or?
Yeah, you roll it as were a power, and
So I can
if
power
you
roll it.
don't pass the DN, you just aren't focused enough, or there's
Yeah.
interference or whatever.
Yeah. Hopefully, I can pass this given it's a DN of 3 and I have 10 dice.
You should be able to.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
hopefully.
One would certainly
Alright.
help.
If the dice don't royally fuck you, you
It
should
might.
be.
Who knows?
Speaking of, you'll find this amusing, Avery. I had a
Yep.
character that got Sinesians despite not being a psyker, but
Oh.
Hugh came up with the best way to give me that.
Okay. Do tell.
He gave me a metal eyeball that hypnotized me into staring at it and letting it burrow itself in my eye.
Oh, fancy.
Well then.
I'm into that.
I loved it. It
Um,
was great.
I stole that one from Tides to Numenera.
Ah, fair.
Mm.
Yeah. A
There's
good
a
place.
you can get
I
a
haven't
guy's
gotten
magic.
there yet, you fuck.
You don't even know which one it is.
You literally just said which one it is.
No. You don't know which character. You
No, fair.
won't see it coming.
It happens
So-
to somebody else.
You'll find out.
How can we assist you, Sergeant Major?
I need you to come look at her soul.
Her soul, you say?
I don't know. Whatever the fuck you people do.
Ah, of course. Gladly.
Okay, that didn't work the way it was supposed to.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Did you put the dice number into the field and then click off the field?
So I didn't. I haven't actually used any psychic powers yet, so this
Let-
will be interesting.
Let me open your sheet and I'll have a look-see.
Thank you. I'm wondering if it's just.
Okay, Sinesians.
Yep.
Willpower. Okay, so you see,
Is it literally number of
Where
dice
it
where it
says-
needs to be?
well, where it says dice mod, next to activation free, etc., there's a
Yep.
dice button. You need to click that one.
Yeah, that was what I. Alright.
Yeah, it doesn't have any
Hmm.
dice in it.
Okay. Yeah, hang on. Let me just.
In retrospect, I should have done this before we started the stream, but okay.
No, this is a known problem with the API. It just does this occasionally. Okay, go
Oh.
ahead and roll it now.
Yeah, alright.
There we
You've
go.
got to put a bonus dice in, roll it, then take the bonus dice out. Then the API registers how many dice are in it, and it only does this for psychic powers, and only when you
Cool.
start the API up for the first time.
My
to
head
know.
headcanon is that the Emperor helped you the first time through the warp.
Possibly. Alright, so what am I looking at here?
So, as you open your third eye, which we can
Fourth
assume is a metaphor for some practiced method of meditation that allows you to focus on the senses of the flow of psychic energy around you.
Yeah, it's totally a metaphor, not literal.
I mean, it can. I'm going to describe it as literally
Yeah.
seeing, because
Yeah.
like the
Yeah.
best way we can conceive of it is as if it was like overlaid over our actual vision. It's
Yep.
just the easiest and cleanest way to describe
That
it.
makes
So
sense,
we're going
yes.
to use that metaphor and just say your brain's interpreting it that way. Because
Yep.
fuck you, the brain can do whatever it wants.
True. And yes, okay. So
But yeah,
The
sign-
creases.
You open your third eye to the slightly cramped little office, and you can see Nualia, Frampt, and Flux, and each of them is kind of an immaterial, wispy grey shadow of themselves with a multicolored, glowing aura from within, around where the heart would be.
Mhm.
Flux's is tinged with grey and shot through with shards of red and blue around a very faint, wispy, kind of whitish grey light at its core.
is that
Whereas-
normal, or is that signs of corruption?
Well, no, that's fairly within the range for what you'd expect
Okay.
for a normal person.
All right.
Think of it as a visual representation of the state of their psyche, in a way.
Mhm. So I'm getting the video game HUD. That's good.
Yeah. Looking at Frampt, you see a core of gold bound in an almost barely contained energy of greys and reds.
Weirdly, that doesn't surprise me. Okay.
And looking at Nualia, she stands almost like a beacon, brighter than the other two. Her aura almost solid gold, shot through with flickers of blues and greens and occasionally grey. No sign of corruption, but this is the kind of aura you remember seeing in those who took you to the Black Ships.
Sister, you are very bright. Were you aware of this?
Being bright, I do think that I am intelligent. As
This
well.
is that kind of squad. We
as-
understand.
As well, referring to what you might be seeing with your ability, if it is any indication of my faith, then I am a strong believer.
You are stronger than most. Given your station, that makes sense.
Hmm.
You are.
Little puppy.
Yeah, I'm just trying to prevent her from biting my toes for a little bit.
Yeah.
We remember. We remember the black ships and the ones who took us there. You remind us of them.
Ah.
She turns to Flux.
Was this a sorry, me?
So is she?
Am I a psyker?
We
That.
Is she? Would I be able to tell that? I mean, I assume I'm
No,
able to tell that.
you have seen other psychers
But yeah.
where Flux and Frampt are candles in the gloom. Nualia is a lantern. A
Right.
psyker is a floodlight.
Okay. Okay.
no, you are not like us. You are strong. This should be commended. Right.
Thank you.
If you require anything further of us, we are very busy, as you might understand.
By all means, as you were.
Thank you, Sergeant Major.
She gives a bow and then walks back out, sits down on the floor, where you can still see her, and starts meditating again.
Flux is just gonna turn to Nualia and stare.
Noel, yeah, just kind of looks back at Flux and says, "I feel as though you're staring at an anatomy chart."
I don't know what that is. I do know what that is, but I don't know how to read them. But I don't know how to read, so what else is new?
I think with that, we can put
When did-
concerns. So,
When did it start?
as I said, during the mission to reclaim the God Engine, Agril was wounded in the hallway, and that happened. As well, on the way back from liberating the enemy prisoner, Kristoff was heavily wounded, and it happened again there.
So, like with this, you can just do it on command.
Somewhat. I cannot do it more than once per day, but otherwise it seems to be somewhat on command.
Perhaps you should see a magnus about that.
Gallows calls because the door's still open.
Thank you, and Wally will gotta close the door.
Right. This is outside of my purview. I don't know what you want me to do about it.
It was honestly more of letting you know that it is a thing. That
That
way,
is fair.
if you see it on the battlefield, you don't panic. That and she nods to Commissar Frampt. That and so I also don't get shot when it happens.
Hey, you
Uh.
assume I wouldn't shoot you for it? First
You-
off,
You didn't.
you don't know me. That's
You didn't shoot our other friend when we discovered him, or when you discovered him, rather.
that was before shit went down.
Yes, I will speak to Lord Commissar Mandeville about this, get his read on things. But as I see it, you are neither a witch nor a mutant, so I have no reason to act on this yet.
As I did say, it has been seen as it has been seen through our history that people of especially strong faiths were able to call on some of the Emperor's power, though certainly it tends to come through more of the living saints rather than the rank and file.
Indeed, it is simply hard to imagine that I would see it in my lifetime.
I think there are many things that we didn't expect to see in our lifetime, but more events surrounding Cadia might have halted that.
A sobering reminder of hubris.
I tend to look at it more as a reminder of just how far humanity will go to defend themselves. Certainly, I would not.
Perhaps you should have been a commissar, sister.
Well, certainly I will admit I would not call Cadia a victory, but I certainly would call it a moral victory, considering we had the enemy so scared of us they had to throw a black fortress at us.
Frampt nods. Never forget those who fell on Cadia. Cadia stands. And he slams a hand across his chest and gives a small inclination of his head.
Indeed. And I would dare say it will continue to stand in those who survived and were not on the planet when it fell.
As they are so enthusiastic about throwing about, the planet broke before the guard.
I admit I would be quite proud of that accomplishment.
And rightly to them. But have you not heard the Gideon 307th has its own legends?
I heard the 13th Company?
The 13th platoon of the 13th Company.
Ah, fair.
Heads the honored 13th.
You know, I've always thought being a legend would suck.
It is a lot to live up to.
Fortunately for you, most legends are dead before they become legends.
That's why it sucks.
Is it that you are less concerned about having to live up to expectations and more concerned about being able to throw around the legend while alive?
I don't think you understand. I would rather be anywhere but in front of people, and I would rather be anywhere but having people talk about me.
And yet you think it is the bad thing that legends become those after people have died.
Because you have to die to become the legend. Don't get to die peacefully.
Not necessarily.
You die in a bloody, painful way, and people are like, oh, that was really good and ended up doing something great. And then they make a legend out of you. I don't want that.
Not
I
necessarily.
want to die in a corner somewhere with a comfy house and all of my tinkering tools and just quietly go.
I would disagree somewhat. We have quite a few legends that are still alive, and they are legends now. We've spoken of at least two of them, Commissar Kane and Commissar Gaunt.
Yeah, I don't trust that.
In fact, I would, from the few things I've heard of the Tanith First and Only, I would say Gaunt's entire companies are legends at this point.
In no small amount, indeed.
Yeah, I don't trust it.
But yeah, we will pause there for now as the three of you continue your conversation and have our break. So we'll be back in half an hour. Feel free to go grab a drink, something to eat,
Will
etc.
do. All right.
E.
We'll be back.
I am gonna go feed and walk the dog. He's been pacing this whole time for the past hour.
Dogger.
Cute.
Yeah,
It's the wrong day. I want to do things.
well, you'll have to wait.
What do you want to do?
I want to do things.
You're gonna have to wait.
Make time go faster.
I fucking wish I could.
You're supposed to be a god. You're fucking useless.
You could just take a nap. That'd do
That
it.
would technically skip time, yeah.
I wonder how much of my meds I would have. I mean, that would be the long
Too
nap,
many.
and that's not what I want.
Yeah.
I meant because they have a side effect of sleepiness. How many would I have to take?
Yeah, sadly,
Period.
side effects don't necessarily grow cumulatively with the amount you take, I'm afraid.
So that means you just keep taking more, right?
Well, no.
Be
So,
like
like,
me. Whoever's
drowsiness,
listening to this stream, don't do that.
drowsiness commonly does not increase if you take more of a medication that's supposed to make you drowsy. It's just dependent on how your body processes the chemicals in question taking more isn't going to make you more drowsy. It's just going to put you at risk of fucking organ failure.
But will it keep you asleep longer?
Well, if you fall unconscious due to taking too many, yeah, you'll fall asleep and never wake up.
Technically speaking, using too much actually has the reverse effect because of the way it's dosed. It's dosed specifically at the right point to make you do what it wants to do. And if you do more, it's too much for the body. It's like, bro, what are you doing?
Depending
Yeah,
on
but it
which
wants
one
to
you're
make me
taking.
not
Yeah.
suicidal.
Yeah.
So
Well,
the
yeah,
sleep
like,
has nothing to do with that.
it depends on which ones you're taking. For example, anticoagulants can be used to treat bipolar because they influence neurochemicals in a certain way. Not anticoagulants, analgesics. That's the one. Is it? Which one is it?
I don't remember.
I don't know. What are you thinking it does?
You're on it.
Oh, no, I'm on anticonvulsant.
Anticonvulsant. That's the one. One of the fucking many and something or others.
Anticoagulants make your blood thin.
I know
Yes.
what they do. I just couldn't remember which one applied to this specific scenario. But yeah, anticonvulsants can be used to treat.
with pain.
All right, I know. But yeah, anticonvulsants can be used to treat bipolar because of the way they influence neurochemistry. So that works on the body in a very different way to how a serotonin uptake inhibitor would function.
Yeah, apparently if I went on that, bad things would happen, according to my psychiatrist.
They generally don't work nicely with bipolar.
Is it because it's because it like makes the mania worse or the depression worse? It's one or the
Yeah.
other.
Usually depends on body chemistry. It's kind of a coin toss whether or not it'll make you super manic or super depressed, but it's usually one of the two. Or you could be in one of those really unlucky few who just have an outright fucking seizure.
I'm
There's
really
not-
glad that she put me on the anticonvulsant first.
I mean, yeah, like
She
it's
was
not
like,
it's
"You're
not just
barely to where I need to consider this. But
with the majority of psychotic medications and psychiatric medications can potentially have a pretty severe reaction, just like any chemical or substance can if you happen to be allergic to it. It's the same kind of rates. Like those poor motherfuckers who are allergic to water, that's just really bad luck. Or people who have chronic urticaria where their allergy changes every week.
is life even worth living at that point?
Well, I mean, it can be
Depending on the
treated and
severity of
managed.
the allergy.
I mean, yeah, like if you're allergic to water, I can't imagine how difficult that makes life.
Yeah.
That seems like a difficult path to be forced to take. At least with chronic urticaria, you could just get a scratch test every week to find out which new thing you're allergic to and avoid it for that week. It becomes routine after a while, but still, like, not a fun existence by itself.
Don't scratch tests like leave you with symptoms for the next like several days anyway?
It depends what it is. Like, if you have a scratch test and you happen to be allergic to pollen, like you have hay fever, then it will just give you a little rash. But if you're allergic to something that the body consistently has a very strong reaction to, like shellfish, the reason shellfish allergies are so deadly is that they are almost universally a very strong response. So that could leave you feeling run down, under the weather.
My sibling has a seafood or shellfish. We don't really know. All we know is now they can't eat like even just like shrimp and stuff.
some doctors believe it's the mercury in the water that's causing this. But
I
there's not
Mhm.
enough studies to tell for sure. Or there are enough studies and they've just been suppressed by the fucking giant mega corporations that own America at the moment. Because there's evidence of
honestly,
both
that
happening.
don't surprise me at all.
Well, there's actual like hard evidence of both occurring. Like there have been several reports by the FDA that have been crushed and discarded. There have been several reports by the CDC that have been ignored. Like
Classic.
we know this shit is potentially a problem, but no one's willing to give it funding to find out.
Yeah. But now they're just really upset because they actually like seafood.
Oh, that's
And
unfortunate. Being
I
allergic
told
to something
you.
you actually like. I hate seafood, so I'd be fine with that.
Yeah.
I
same.
fucking
But,
love. Man, you people are missing out. The bounty of the ocean's great. It's too bad I'm gonna play a guy who wants to set the whole thing on fire.
I like
on this
swordfish, and that barely counts as fish because it's basically a steak.
shrimp is the only thing I'll do. And even then, it has to be like the fried coconut shrimp,
Oh.
and I'll only do a little bit of that.
I will confess, calamaritos, fucking
That's on
nice.
my list to try.
Calamari's great.
Calamaritos are baby squid that have been dunked in a deep fat fryer and you eat them whole.
Nice.
You spritz them with lemon juice. They are so fucking good.
Yeah, you're making that sometime.
Like my sister hates them so much. She picks the eyes out of all of them because she can't eat them while they're looking at her.
Oh.
But the
no,
eyes are the best
but I'm
bit.
not-
They taste the
Um,
best.
Mm,
I love them. They're great. Delicious.
see, now I don't know
Occasionally
if I'll
you
be
get
able to
one
eat
that's
that.
like occasionally you get one that's started to develop the backbone, but it's like a little sliver of plastic inside it. When I was little I didn't know what they were. I said, what the fuck is there plastic in my food? My parents had to explain how cephalopods develop. Like I spent the whole rest of that meal asking them questions about how cuttlefish and squid develop as they grow, which they didn't have enough answers to, so I demanded that we buy a book on marine biology.
That tracks. I told you that they want to go vegetarian, right?
Oh, bells. Who?
We are in fact on a public stream.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
What?
But I did not recall that. You might have told me? I don't know.
Yeah, they want to go vegetarian.
My brother went vegan. Vegetarian's a step up in my opinion.
Well, okay, so here's the entire reasoning. One, they're very like, the animals. Very hard on sleeve kind of kid.
I mean, alright. I can appreciate that.
Secondly, hates the taste and texture of meat.
That one I can completely get behind. Like, I've known a few people who are vegetarians or vegans for various reasons, my brother included, and most of them have pretty sound logical reasons. Like, they didn't grow up eating meat, so they're not used to the texture or flavor, so they really don't like it. Or they have ethical objections to how slaughtering is done that I personally don't agree with, but if I viewed animals in the same way they did, I could see where they're coming from.
Mm-hmm.
It's when they get super fucking preachy about the environment and crap, and so you really don't understand how farming works, do you?
The thing I find amusing, there's a couple things that amuses me about this because, like, they're not gonna go ever fully vegetarian, I don't think. Just because, one, they know it would be hard to manage, and two, they don't necessarily hate all meat things. Like, currently, my mother is in an ongoing fight because they exercise a fuck ton and thus cannot afford to not eat meat, but does not like eating meat. So there's a lot of like little stuff, like a bunch of like chickens and salad and stuff like that. That's like the compromise there.
Right.
But it's
Yeah.
stupid little shit like that, or like, for some reason, steak bad. All steak bad, except for burgers.
My cousin used to insist that they were a vegetarian despite eating chicken.
Oh,
I'm not sure how they came to that conclusion. Though, to be fair, it's not that outlandish considering the Pope declared that beavers and capybaras are both fish, so they can be eaten on Lent.
The recent one?
No, this was ages ago, but they just never struck it from the record. So if you are like a practicing Catholic and you want to eat something different on Lent, you could get some beaver steak. That's totally fine.
I wonder what beaver steak tastes like.
Good question. I'm not sure.
I would assume that it wouldn't be very good. Like, given the activities of beavers, I would see it being a mixture of probably oily and tough.
I picture it being a bit tough, a little bit gamey, but probably quite bland, honestly.
Hmm.
I just want a steak.
But I
now.
don't know. I
You're
mean, I've
reminding me of
never
this-
eaten a giant rodent before. It's a new one on me.
Yeah. We're gonna have a lot of firsts.
Hugh, what's the funniest papal decree?
The Festival of Chestnuts, in my opinion.
Oh, is that the one where the pub gathered all the whores?
Yeah, and they have to crawl
Right.
naked along the floor and pick up fucking chestnuts with like their ass cheeks and teeth.
I remember hearing about that. Was that,
And, like,
was that the same pope
fucking
who laughed?
Pope and a bunch of bishops just sit on these high wooden chairs and watch them do this for some obscure fucking reason.
I think that pope was the same one who found it really funny to watch horses fuck.
I wouldn't be surprised somehow.
There was one of them that was like that.
I mean, there
My
are some
favorite-
weird popes.
My favorite just decision made by Catholics TM was when the three popes just excommunicated each other. Like that's my favorite. It's like,
Yeah, much good it fucking did any of them.
Who remembers when the pope like went over to fucking Charlemagne? It's like, hey, I'm gonna give you a crown and pseudo power so that I actually have power over you. Get fucked, nerd.
I'm pretty sure Charlemagne went and asked him.
My understanding is that he kind of didn't have much of a choice in the matter
Well,
because a lot of these
Charlemagne
people were.
Charlemagne went and, as I recall, and my Charlemagne era history is not very good because we did that when I was like 12. I don't know.
He like went so that he had the backing of the church to maintain political power once he came into power, from what I recall at least.
Yes. As I recall, he went to the Pope and requested his blessing, and the Pope refused. So he started gathering favor among the local bishops of his area, built up a force, started conquering lands, and then ultimatumed the Pope in basically say, look, you can either join me and agree with me, and we can kind of sort of pseudo share power in a weird sort of way, and I won't invade Rome, or I'm going to invade Rome, and no matter who wins, we both get fucked.
And thus the title Holy Roman Emperor was coined.
Then
That's how
his
that
nut,
would happen, right?
and then his nut ended up being too strong, and he had to divide the lands, and that created the modern issues.
Dude was a prolific motherfucker. Like,
It's true.
every white person in the Western world is related to Charlemagne at this point.
Oh,
I don't
God.
think he was as like prolific as fucking Genghis Khan, but he was pretty good.
That is true. Genghis Khan beats everyone, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think we have a recorded instance of anyone having quite the spawn rate of Genghis Khan.
I'm disappointed in you for that sentence.
I mean, it's
You
true
should be
though.
disappointed in yourself too.
I need to look up our estimate now. How many?
Isn't it? I think it's
Everyone
1%.
did
1% of the Asian population is related to him, which is fucking massive considering they make up
No.
billions.
I fully accept this. I'm just amused at the fact that he's like describing this as though it's some kind of video game stats.
Dude had 14 children over a pretty fucking short career.
Man.
And then they all went on to have like 7+ children of their own.
And that's only the documented ones.
Yeah. Fuck knows how many he just left behind in ravaged villages.
Fuck. That face when you remember it. Was Genghis Khan the first guy to be engaging in like knowledgeable biological warfare?
Not the first, I don't think, but he definitely made liberal use of it compared to how it had previously been used. Like a lot of previous biological warfare efforts had been consigned to things like flinging corpses over the walls to spread disease or bundles of rats, which is not exactly precise or efficient biological warfare, but it scares the enemy, especially if you're in a long siege.
Imagine being the rat bag tamer.
But yeah, like Genghis Khan definitely systematically employed biological weapons, which might be a first, I'm not sure.
There's pizza in my kitchen,
Retrieve the pizza.
but it's so far away. And then I'd have to heat it up.
Well, you've got 10 minutes, so hurry.
Get the pizza, nerd. Do it. You won't. You can't. You can't do it.
No shit, that's why I'm still sitting here.
Lazy ass.
I
I
here's the
made an
thing about
effort.
me. I don't respond well to peer pressure. Mainly because I'm a stubborn asshole, and the second I know someone wants me to do something and is willing to try and peer pressure me into either doing or reverse peer pressuring me, like the second I'm doing that, I'm like, nope.
Well, damn. I'll have to practice my rhetoric that only exists when I have to write bullshit papers.
It's very much a response of like people think they can get away with a lot. And I'm very much like, okay, first off, you thought you had to stoop there. Second off, I'm not that easy. I'm easy in a lot of ways. That is not one of them.
What in the hell did I?
So
just
I've
walk
heard.
into?
Discussions of peer pressure.
We're trying to convince Alex to get food.
Oh, yeah,
What's
that's
this
a good
wee
idea.
shit? You didn't even try.
I know not to waste my effort.
There you go.
Hey,
It's taken 4 years, but you've
be-
learned.
Yeah, you just complain about wanting food and don't do anything about it.
And then by the time I'm nauseous, that's when I go get the food.
maybe
Well,
go.
we should do it
maybe
again
go-
eventually.
Maybe go get the food before you're nauseous and prevent the situation entirely.
I've tried this, mate. It doesn't work.
You say that
Look.
like you're any fucking different. You fucking
Look, you.
hypocrite.
Unlike
No,
you,
I am exactly the same.
unlike
That's
you,
why I know it doesn't
conservation
work.
of energy doesn't work for me. I always have 0 energy. I'm making it up right now so that I don't feel like dying.
The thing you all will find amusing is also someone who's watching the stream, who I know, who has my Discord, is also just texting me to get food.
A wise decision. Good job, person watching the stream.
Amelia, go fuck yourself.
It would be the sensible option.
What, for them to fuck themselves or to go get food?
Go get
I
food.
mean,
I mean,
that is a
if,
sensible
if
option for a lot of people, if we're being honest.
if people want to go fuck themselves, they're welcome to it. I'm not going to stop them.
Mm-hmm.
Generally, I'd recommend doing it with someone else because that's usually more fun for a lot of people. But you know, take what you can
Yeah, but that takes effort.
I mean, I tried that once. It didn't pan out super well, but I think that was more the situation than anything.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's fair.
I think my general preference is doing it myself, but that's just
DIY,
me.
the American way.
Mm.
All I know
That
is
was horrible, and I hate you.
all I know is that I need to procure tools other than my left hand in pictures because that's skewing my experience.
Oh
I'm
boy, I
gonna
can
just go out
recommend
on a
couple
limb
sites for
here.
you. By which I
Yeah,
mean, what's up? Sorry.
Avery's got the mech porn.
No, I was actually gonna suggest sex toys, but
I mean,
Sure.
Oh,
I
yeah,
am.
that's fair.
There is one coming my way. It just shipped today, so
probably not the only thing. Uh,
it's
Half a
only
gallon
one.
of lube.
I'll go get that
What did you
separately
say?
because I need to get a particular kind of lube for it because it's a silicon based thing.
ah,
I had to put out a little bit of money for it. My only issue is that it's of a configuration that I'm not like extremely keen on describing.
okay. Well, you can always link a photo in the Discord chat.
I won't.
Okay,
I'll leave it at that.
all right. Yeah, no pressure on that. You don't have to, obviously.
I'm mostly acting on humor at this point. I won't, but it's funny for me to allude and be funny with it.
I have such a large shopping list in that regard.
Mm.
Like, oh my god. Living at home sucks.
You mean living at home with your parents?
What, isn't everyone's home like this?
Well, one assumes
Well, I
that
mean-
home is where you happen to be living. My home is here, thank you very much. My parents
Well,
aren't here.
Yeah,
Me and my family just have the simple thing of we don't open each other's packages and we let each other
Yeah.
do as we please because it's
My
not each other's business.
Just
But I know that
goes
your
through
situation
my
is not the
mail.
same.
Yeah, my family just routinely goes through my mail. Especially if
Hmm.
it's like postmarked for something important.
Yeah,
That seems.
it's cursed. It's cursed.
Mm-hmm.
I once considered getting what are they called? Sounding rods.
Oh, okay. I don't.
But
Hmm.
no, well, it's a stupid. It's there's two stupid stories compacted into this, but
Alright.
I'm gonna tell the second one,
Okay.
which is me being stupid.
Okay.
I
What
happen
did you
to
do with not a medical grade sounding rod, Mason?
well, it was close enough. I
Uh,
had made sure it was sterile
Okay.
beforehand.
wait a minute.
I neglected to provide significant lubricant.
Mate, that's how you get a UTI.
For a
At
good thing
best.
I didn't.
Good.
I didn't, which was good.
Yeah, that's.
But it
yeah,
did-
that's
it did
basically
hurt
UTI
to-
at best.
It was odd at best. No, that would have been really bad. Look, I'd taken enough. The lube that I provided was spittle, which was not sufficient.
Oh. Yeah, no.
It wasn't
that's really
sufficient.
not.
It was not sufficient.
Yeah.
I achieved what I decided at the end of the day, but I ended up
Okay.
not using the tool. The issue was that it hurt to pee for like 4 or 5 days afterwards.
Uh-huh.
I'm just gonna put this out here for anyone listening, either on stream or in our group. When you think you have enough lube, get a second bottle.
Oh yeah, I was also gonna say if you don't know what sounding is and you are particularly squeamish, do not look it up. Would be my recommendation.
Yeah, no.
Oh yeah, never look up anything I mentioned in regards to any kind
Oh,
of
this
sexual
wasn't.
activity, 'cause
I mean,
it's a
this wasn't
total
you. This was.
Oh
Mason
no,
was
I'm
saying
just putting that out there for the stream. Never do it.
it.
It's a bad idea. Don't.
Yeah, it's usually cursed.
Yeah.
Usually very
No,
cursed.
no, no. I'm not. Listen, I'm not
Everybody
judging your
places
interest.
that.
What I am judging is the That you
Please
knew
do
enough
research.
to know about it but didn't get lube.
Look, I was foolish, and that's it. That's all I need to add to that. I was
All right.
foolish. I've
I'm
since learned,
sure
and I've
you-
since found that just not overly interested anymore.
Okay.
So, as I'm sure you've learned this from said experience, and maybe I'm not. I'm just gonna say it in case, because you're a human that I tend to like being around. Um, please do research before you try something new in the future. Just a little,
I-
just like the bigger, like
For what it's
safety.
for what it's worth,
basics.
I did.
Okay.
I had
Oh,
just I had seen nothing to indicate what level of lubrication was necessary for the process.
Hmm.
A lot. Assume a lot, no matter what the thing is.
Yeah. That's pretty fair.
Understandable.
Wait,
I
was this
know
a
it
recent thing, or is this like you did this like 10 years ago?
is closer to 4, but yeah.
Okay.
The other thing that I didn't talk about was at least 7 or 8, and involved basically Youngie being like really curious about those soap bottles that kind of got the thin
Oh.
things.
Yeah, I see where you're going with this. I
I'm
wish I didn't.
concerned.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
admittedly, it only resulted in the same thing as the sounding did.
Uh,
About 4 or 5 days of ow, owie.
yeah, but everyone does stupid shit when they're teenagers. Like
that's
that's
true.
not even.
Yeah.
Again,
It
not
could have
judging.
been
Just
worse.
yes, it could have been worse. I'm
Any
sure.
day that you don't have to go to the hospital for DIY is a good day.
Yep.
Yeah, no, never happened. Never told anyone about it
Well,
until now.
Now you-
Because I'm at a point where it's like, who the fuck cares?
none of us are gonna judge you for that.
Exactly.
Look, I've got my own. I've got plenty of stupid stories that I am not comfortable telling on stream, but yeah.
Understandable.
I'm Ah, dear.
Where's Canuda?
Probably
Mm,
making food.
Probably.
I don't even know if I want. She's walking up. I don't even know if I want pizza. My stomach is like,
I mean, you
"Feed
probably
me,"
do if you're
and
thinking
my
about
tummy
it.
is like, no food.
You've pretty much already decided you're not going to eat right now.
Yeah.
Oh. Here's
I don't
something
even know
I,
what I would eat because pizza doesn't even sound like.
I've gotten to a point in my life where I don't really like pizza very much either. It has to be really good for me to care.
So I'm a hoe for carbs, which
That's
means pizza
reasonable.
is generally up there for me.
I
Mm,
mean,
But
rice.
Actually-
That's where it's at.
ew.
Fuck you. Don't you tell me you. I fucking
No.
I'll eat
thanks.
sushi and fucking rice bowls all day.
So okay, I am very, very not a fan of rice things because growing up, rice was a staple thing that got cooked with a lot of meals, and it was served just having been boiled, or not.
wait.
I forget how to cook rice. Whatever, with like a little bit of butter and just raw rice.
Ew.
And
Wait, that's not
yeah.
right.
I don't like
You
rice.
you've had cursed rice. You need the good stuff. If you come
Yeah.
up here, I'm taking you to a fucking hibachi grill.
I've been to a hibachi grill.
You don't like the rice from those places?
I don't know, like I'm a noodle person.
I agree. Noodles
I
are pretty
will-
good.
I will eat the rice, but if I have the choice between noodles and rice, it's gonna be noodles. And like rice isn't gross. It's just if I don't want to eat the thing, then is it really worth the feeling bloated and super full from eating the thing?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like that with a lot of sweets too. It's just like if I'm not excited about it, it's not worth having.
Mm-hmm. You got me thinking about udon noodles. I actually really like those, and they usually come in soups. The issue is that every place I've ever gone to, when they make them, makes an absolutely fucking exorbitant amount of it.
I see no problem here.
No, see, the problem is that this amount comes with something that's supposed to be an appetizer. When it suffices as a meal for each person at the fucking table, and there's still left over after that.
That is a common point of derision that Europeans laugh at Americans for. Your portion sizes are colossal.
So I get this, but I've only ever experienced this specifically with udon noodles.
Which should
Nothing
give you a
else.
scale of how large this is in comparison.
Yeah,
But
but I mean, take my word at like half grain, because I'm obese by BMI. So
Yeah, but most people are. That doesn't really mean much.
I mean, it's
BMI is a garbage measurement that was made by a bunch of doctors who were paid by the FDA to come up with a quick system they could use to teach kids in school.
Also, weren't they eugenicists?
Probably.
look,
Knowing
look,
the scientists the government had on call when this was made, probably.
look. The simple answer is I should be weighing less than 260 pounds. I should be closer to 210.
I don't know if there's a should.
Well, yeah, but
generally speaking.
so BMI
Well, should,
doesn't
yes.
take
I'm
into
very unhealthy.
BMI
Okay.
doesn't take into account volume density or muscle distribution into its calculations. It's just weight versus height.
Right.
Yes, I'm
So-
aware.
There's when people have actually sat down to study how accurate BMI data is to medical conditions, the only correlation they find is that after a certain point, the obese rating actually fits, but it's not where they can actually pin the label.
Well, at the very
gonna-
least, go ahead.
I was gonna say I'm just gonna add my spicy hot take and then pretend I never said it because I just like occasionally dropping these things in conversations when
Sure.
certain comments get made.
Uh-huh.
On the one hand, eugenicists suck. On the other hand, we can't just dismiss stuff that they necessarily came out with because of that. That's my take.
Yeah, some of the stuff they came up with has merit. Things like BMI and the fucking food pyramid, no, they're garbage. The
Or
food
phrenolo-
pyramid is
Or
nonsense.
phrenology.
Yeah,
Phrenology
phrenology
is
is a good one. I
fucking-
gotta love
What a
that.
fucking joke.
Ah, yes, sir.
Was it-
You
was
have
he-
a
what-
distinct contusion on the skull. This means
Was
you are
it-
clearly a psychopath.
Was it eugenesis that came up with the tape measure of your skull circumference for IQ?
Yeah. Something about mass and volume, but
It's completely
completely
wrong.
unaware of the actual way a brain is structured.
So what I'm hearing is when you come visit, I need to closely examine your skull. Not
But-
just to see if it fits, but also to measure where I'm gonna put it on like display and
Are you a
My
phrenologist,
time-
Alex?
I
no,
actually
I'm
have
just gonna cut off his head for his skull.
Right, yes. I did remember that was a conversation that was
my
had.
mum got me this as a joke for my birthday. But yeah, my skull actually would throw off your results because we can trace my family back to the Normans. And the reason we can do this is because we all have the same shaped skull. It's longer at the back and arches over, and we have a distinct lip at the back of the skull, which is characteristic
Aliens
of
from the fourth Indiana Jones movie.
kind of, yeah. It's characteristic of a series of long-held family lines that trace back to Romans.
Neat.
Though, you know, actually getting clear details on like the gap between the Norman invasion and the Roman occupation is nigh impossible. unless you're like a really well-known family that people actually cared about the records for.
Mm.
But we were not. Our family goes back to a bloke called Robert.
As many
Speak-
do.
Speaking of Normans, in the Vampire the Masquerade game I'm in, I've talked about the Normans a lot as my character because he's a Malkavian and he has this proclivity of thinking that he's someone who is like King Arthur, but not exactly just yet. And he thinks that all the enemies of the Camarilla or the Anarchs are Normans. Even though I know that technically doesn't line up exactly correct.
Well, so it depends which retelling of Arthur you're looking at. Because
Your
the
mic's
popular
getting
retelling,
just progressively further from your face.
What?
Your mic is getting
yeah, I just
progressively
moved it.
Oh.
further from you. It's quieter now.
But yeah, there's the common retelling which kind of places Arthur around the kind of 3rd century Anglo-Saxon. That's the common area where people like to think of high wizardry. After the Romans left and England returned to nomadic kingdoms of dickbags trying to steal each other's land. But historically, the myth actually dates back to pre-Roman invasion Celtic and Britain inhabitants.
I dig
So
it.
Excalibur would actually have been a Celtic sword, not a straight-handled, cross-guarded arming sword or longsword, as is
Yeah.
I'm
popularly
just gonna
depicted.
scoot off to Google what Celtic swords look like.
I dig that. And to be honest, doesn't matter because the whole thing is that as far as for him, his whole thing is out of order because in his mind, his life should be like a living retelling, but it's panning out in ways that are extremely different, and that's causing certain mental strife to him.
Yeah, Celtic swords are often characterized by being one-handed blades. The guard is quite often fashioned into the shape of a kind of stick figure person. You've got the curve of the crossguard being the legs, and then at the bottom you've got a mirroring curve and then a ball. So you've got the head, the arms. And the blade is often leaf or straight-shaped. They're usually all completely different sizes, made to the specifications of whoever owned the blade, usually.
Neat.
Or whatever they could buy from a blacksmith, depending.
I
dig
heard
that.
what you said and processed very little of it. Oh, I found a picture. That's
Hello.
cool.
Welcome
Welcome back.
I know I'm a little late getting back, but before we return, Mason,
Mm,
can I ask for a favor from you?
what?
I can't find my cell phone, and nobody's in the house to call it. Can I have you call my cell phone number?
Sure.
Okay, thank
You're
you.
just asking for your deets.
I am. Give me those deets, Mason. No, I'll DM my cell phone number to you.
All right.
I'll just read it off on stream. What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah. I think as an InfoSec professional, I'm required to tell you that is an extremely bad idea.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
So,
well aware.
I'm gonna
I
put,
I know.
I'm gonna put my headset down. I'll be right back. Just keep calling it until I find it.
Okay.
Thank you.
It is going as far as I am aware.
If anyone does want my number, it's 0500 weed.
Oh, nice.
Is it actually though?
No, of course it's not 0500 weed. We don't. For a start, we don't actually have 0500 numbers here. They don't exist. We have 0800 numbers.
Uh-huh. I see.
Actually, we've got a whole list of them. Like 0900 are pay per call. 0800 are free. 0700 are free if it's an emergency, but if it's not, you'll be charged.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, I mean, if you said it with a straight face, I'd still believe you. So
See, the thing about that is that would be very not difficult for him. It takes more effort for him to not have a straight
Hey.
face.
This is
Mm.
true.
Well,
Canuta found it.
mhm.
It just dawned on me that that's why you're so good at gambling.
I'm not as good as my mother somehow.
Huh.
I'm
Wait,
only
what?
good.
We played poker as a family, and my mother fucking rolled all of us. Me, my dad, and brother fought it out until it was just me and mum standing, and then she just trounced me in one round.
Hmm.
All I know is that I'm at least half decent at poker, but I only the only way I do it is just by being excessively patient.
I can never remember which order the cards are in value, so I can never tell if I've got a good hand. So I've got a really good poker face.
You're bad at the game
She
itself.
tried to teach me poker. It did not go well.
I
I
know
can
how.
barely remember as it is.
Yeah. I know how it goes, just that I usually go for suit-based things,
Mhm.
which requires me to be very patient, so if I fuck up, I just have to fold out. Unless I get something equally as good.
Well, yeah, never bet more than you're willing to lose. It's the only secret to gambling.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And don't get caught in, the extremely devastating dopamine pathway loop.
Yeah.
But
That's what
I
I
mean,
said
you don't
about
really have control
very
over that.
Yeah, Aliora, we're still waiting for Canuta to get back. They were finding their phone.
Yep.
I
Oh,
am back.
speak of the
There you go, Canuto.
Thank you. Hi, Allie. How you doing?
Feel free to read my number on stream just to fuck with people.
Of
No, I'm
course.
kidding.
It's 555.
555.
Yeah,
555.
5555.
555, eat shit telemarketers.
Ah.
No, what's I need the rejection hotline number. Hold on.
I don't know if that's still around.
You know what? I'm tempted.
Like
to
I know what you're
find
talking
out.
about, but I don't know if
Yeah.
it's still around.
I am tempted to find out
Canuto,
now.
call the hotline.
Yeah, no, I am. Hold on. Rejection hotline.
I think my favorite is the one that just goes straight to the Rickroll.
Ah, yes. Yes.
Amazing.
Let's see. Hold on. 605-475-6968.
No, it was so close.
I know.
I cry.
Welcome to the conference call. Please enter your access code or PIN followed by the
Aw.
pound.
It's a fucking Zoom call? What?
No.
Bruh.
No, I don't think that is it anymore.
That might just be someone's
Someone's eating
number.
it as a private mailbox.
Yeah.
Cry.
There
cry.
is. There was. Hold on. This is a more recent number. Where is it? There's the God of War Easter egg hotline is still
Oh,
around.
I think there's an SCP hotline, which is good.
I'm sure there is. There's one that's a message from Stranger Things Murray Ballman.
Yeah.
A recorded message from Santa Claus.
Well,
Okay, you know what? Nope. I have to check out the Santa Claus one before we come back.
all right.
Oh, ho, ho, I'm coming to steal your children.
Oh, this is fair.
Christmas! This is Santa Claus, and you have reached my personal hotline. We have been very busy making all of those toys to deliver on Christmas morning, and I want you to know that your family loves you very much.
Aw.
And
I didn't realize
so do
Santa
I.
Claus was a fucking
So be
nonce.
good, and don't forget to always listen to your parents. When you
Oh.
hear the tone, please leave me your Christmas gift wishes and holiday cheer. And remember, kids, I know who's been naughty and nice.
I stand by my
Merry
statement.
Christmas, and I'll see you soon.
Ooh.
In contact with a real life warp entity on this day.
That's a much
Boo,
nicer
where's
way of
the
putting it.
Where's the Santa that got me still whiskey for Christmas?
We
think
now need a.
There's only one Santa, I assume. I don't know.
I mean, there's Robot Santa in Futurama.
There is Robot
Sure.
Santa. We need we need the Warhammer 40k Santa. We need the Sanguinor to come and visit us.
Mm,
Bust down your door, full power armor. Season's greetings. Throws the fucking
Yeah.
gun at your face.
Suppose we could do
Look,
we could do
look,
a Christmas
what-
episode or something.
No,
what we
it's-
really need is
that would be
NFL,
awesome.
so we can go play Blitzball,
No,
and
we,
not the Final Fantasy Blitzball.
yeah, no, we
what?
either need the Sanguinor to come in or Rogel Dorn's version, where he comes visit your house at night and repapers your walls.
That's not nearly as bad as I was expecting.
Yeah, no, he's Rogel Dorn in the text-to-speech device series is fairly
yes.
wholesome, but it's a joke that he loves construction.
Ah.
So his whole thing is that, like, if you were a good little boy or girl, he'd come to your house in the night and rebuild your walls.
I mean, he literally had a 100-year-long feud with his brother over who could build the better palace.
Yep. And it ended with not the Iron Fortress. It was the Battle of the Iron Cage, named so because he specifically wanted to bring Perturabo back in an iron cage.
Hmm.
Because Perturabo was also a chaos worshipper at that point, so. But yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. We return to the group as Flux, Frampton, and Nualia discuss current events. Outside, Atlas has set up his tent.
Yeah.
And
It's-
indeed, you do get a supplicant.
Dab. Cool. They'll walk in on Atlas. Kind of just. He's in a pose. He's a little bit
Not
different.
gonna say it.
Anyway,
Sorry, please continue.
cross-legged. Seeing as he doesn't have his fucking bar anymore, which is annoying. No, he hasn't gotten up. He's like, I'll just leave it in there. He has a little bit of laziness in this regard too, but he just
Everyone's gonna hear. Here I am.
no one's. Oh no! No, God,
What's this room?
please.
For those who can't see our Discord chat, I typed in the supplicant walks in on Atlas in the Jack O pose.
Yeah. Anyway, fingers crossed. There's an incense burner in the middle of the room that's burning something that smells vaguely like cantaloupe and other sweet fruit. And in the further away from the actual corner stand is candles to light the place.
Fair. Yeah. Private Uri Cleft steps into the small tent in a clean uniform, dry this time. He inclines his head to you. Says, "Oh, good afternoon, brother.
Yes. Thank you for coming. I don't think I've gotten the chance to get your particular name.
Cleft, Uri Cleft. Once lay brother upon the saint's table, but now humble servant of the Emperor's will.
Alright, that was Nonston. Oh, I see. It's good to meet another.
Indeed, I hoped we would be assigned a chaplain when I was deployed.
Well, I am glad to have fulfilled your hopes in this matter. Were you of a particular sect, or did you simply subscribe to the common ecclesiastical order?
I was a brother of the Blessed Wound. I don't know if you have heard of us. The company chaplain is a member of my same order, though I felt official station would take too long. Action was needed against the traitors that would desecrate our grounds.
Atlas is like, He kind of thinks from a Hennechin, and he says, prudence is a virtue before the time to act. Once the time to act has come, you cannot hesitate. This is a mantra of the Path of Lightning, a set of rules my people follow, my order follows.
Wise words indeed, brother.
Yes.
I feel much the same. For it is said in our own teachings that the Emperor himself did not hesitate to step himself before the blade of the heretic and the demon in our stead. It is only right we do the same for him.
He nods. This is true. Though if what my master good Sifa says is true, the Emperor might have different statements on the matter. Things that are more pragmatic, but these days it's hard to get an answer from him. Of course, sit down. Join me.
He nods, seats himself beside you, says, Indeed, brother, but is it not true that good men wished that they could suffer in place of those they care for, and thus they are the most cherished of all?
It is good to cherish them. Sometimes it's good to imitate at times. But a skill which is less... Oh, what's the word I'm looking for? Vaunted as I would like is the ability to achieve such righteous things without suffering of anyone. It's difficult, the hardest path to walk at the end of the day.
Thank you for the subscription, Lisk.
Indeed, brother, but as you did say, prudence dictates that we must act when called to.
Of course. Sifa's sect is an order based around balancing. There's many things we must do, many ideals to uphold. Such speaks the path of water. Let your mind flow like the river, bend when you must, but always hold to your true nature.
Indeed, the flesh is but a vessel for the mind and the soul that drives it. The pain of one can hone the other.
Nods. So, this is confessional. I take it you've come to lay upon me something you wish to confess. Sorry, I was not taught very well in rhetoric.
He gives you a small smile and nods. Says, in all honesty, brother, rather, I had wished simply for the company of a fellow ecclesiarch. It is difficult sometimes to be surrounded by so many who are blind to the workings of our Emperor.
Nods. I see. That is understandable. But I would say that it's sometimes a blessing in disguise to see the thoughts of others, the perceptions of others. Sometimes it leads us to better methods with which to help the peoples.
Perhaps this is true, brother, but I was always taught that the stray mind drifts closer to heresy than any should risk.
For some, yes, it might be true. But it takes a truly trained eye to know. A watcher. I find that certain teachings of the most common order tend to lean towards less active roles in this regard. They prefer to act with their hands first and not their minds. To see the surface of something and to act only on that. It's understandable when you have not the time to consider, of course, but many don't take the time when they have it.
There is truth to your words, brother, but I wonder if we will have time to separate truth from darker things in times to come.
That is the eternal struggle, brother. Time is hardly ever on our sides. All we can do is to hone ourselves to see as much as we can in a moment's glance, and hope that it is enough to make a sound judgment.
And pray to his mercy that he may deliver us safely in our task.
Atlas nods, but he doesn't exactly extrapolate that point. Say, brother, have you ever had visions?
I have not been blessed with the touch of our Lord yet.
No, this is something I've had before. It's actually how I became a member of my sect. I would have dreams after I had been extradited from my home planet to Briar's Peak. Every now and then, I see the same visions I had then. But usually I prefer to bring it on to see if anything changes. And I have a method of this, if you would like to try it. A brief ritual that requires a minor stimulant that grows on Briar's Peak.
I would be willing to explore any option you may present. You have spoke naught but wisdom to me thus far.
I appreciate that. One moment, he goes and he rummages in a bag and he produces a hot plate that's got its own battery in it and a thing, a pitcher of water that's been sealed. Puts it on there and he lets it brew for a minute. Say, when this is done, I'll guide you through the ritual words. I'll tell you the Logothic, and I'll read out my sex language for it after.
He nods and waits for your instruction.
Yeah. Once it's all ready and boiled, he takes out 2 small cups, pours it in, and then retrieves a vial of a very slight bluish kind of powder that he pours into both and mixes it with a little stir stick. And he holds it in a hand, kind of like that.
Yeah, he imitates you picking up his.
Alright, follow after me. Blessings unto the world of the waking, which I observe here and now.
Blessings unto the world and the waking, which I observe here and now.
Forgive me for my curiosity as I partake of your bounty and observe the threads of destiny.
I'm kind of high and I've already forgotten the first part.
Don't even worry about it.
We'll just say he repeats
Hey, it
you.
works in
Okay, that's fine.
character. Fantastic.
Well, he's not blitzed yet. He will be.
I do love the idea of
very
him just
good.
being like, not gonna lie, I took a bigger hit of this than I thought I did.
No problem. And he finishes with, I will return soon, ready to appreciate you once more. And, he'll pause for a minute. Oh, fuck. Hold on, I gotta get the air back in me, because this is a lot of fucking Japanese to read. Okay. Mezame no sekai e no Shukufuku. Watashi wa ima koko de kanatsu shimasu. Watashi ga anata no megumi ni sanka shi. Ume no ito o kansatsu suru toki. Watashi no kokishin o yurushite kudasai. Muichido ore o moshi gamasu. Then finishes. He'll drink after that.
Yeah. Cleft inclines his head and drinks. What impact does this stuff have?
Fuck off, Kududa.
Love you.
So, maybe a little bit. Anyway.
Okay. Yeah, that wasn't meant to be like a thing you responded to in stream, but that's fine.
Yeah, sorry.
No, that's
I
good.
just
Let's
I see
talk
the
later.
words. I live.
Yep. All good.
But yeah, no. When it's drunk, it takes maybe about a minute before a very slow kind of warmth builds up, and you start to feel a little heavy. Your eyes start to get heavier too, and you're kind of lulled into a very warm, meditative state, which eventually falls into a sleep state and brings on the subsequent visions, dreams.
Fair enough. Yeah, the two of you drift off into this trance-like state. And we'll transition back to Nualia Flux.
Hey, you want to get high?
Do you want to build a weed man?
I have glow sticks for that, thank you very much.
Fun fact, canonically, glow sticks are a combination of tobacco and quote-unquote other stimulants.
Fact for anyone on the squad that's been around Flux, they actually get less fidgety when they smoke them.
Not surprised by that.
I think where we're at, if Kanuta doesn't have anything more to say to Frampt, was fucking drilling, breaking down Kit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cleft might have to be excused on personal grounds.
No, I want you to be twice as fast.
They walk into the tent
Time.
and just basically see two dudes. Fucking. Oh.
Killing 5 feet apart.
I don't know how close or far away they are. Atlas wouldn't have cared.
Yeah,
I can't tell if this is you ignoring it or not knowing the deep lore.
I know the deep lore.
Okay, good. Otherwise, I was gonna post it in the chat.
I was there when it was.
Yeah.
The deep lore to me wish I was there when it was written.
Yeah, fair. I miss spines so much.
Yeah, Flux, you step out of your office into the barracks. Most of the squad are gathered about, changed into fresh uniforms, most of them lounging on bunks. There is a distinct circle of absence around Gallows and Griff.
Flux is going to respect that and stay outside of the circle as well.
Sergeant Major, we hardly fight. Sergeant Major, we understand the reticence of the rest of them, but truth be told, we don't bite.
Hard.
How can you with a mask?
That's when the mask
That's a good
hinges
point.
open like fucking a steel trap.
I was thinking more. There's a mouth on the hand that fucking clamps down. A la the show
what?
Parasite.
No.
I was making a reference, but that's
Yeah. All right, fair.
I should have finished that show.
Actually had a character that did that once.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Hand mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was touched by the old gods.
Mm.
Aren't we all?
Right?
Last
It's my favorite way to be.
Mm-hmm.
Last time I ever saw anything with hand mouths was in a Dives animation.
Hmm.
But yeah. Flux, what do you do?
I don't even know. Like,
You can delegate.
I mean, I thought we had already delegated to Frank to start running shit. Flux
Well,
would have
yeah,
just come
but-
out to, like, be involved.
Fair. You stand there,
Like,
silence
Flux
for
is
a
very
few
much
moments.
just like,
Could go
This-
search
this
out
is
the
not a
missing
me
person.
problem.
Noel.
You stand there in silence for a few moments. Framp's still a bit sodden.
Noelia will
Flux
say,
is still also
"Oh,
probably standing in a
you're roboting a lot."
Yeah.
puddle.
They'll
about we
get back in a
change?
second.
And then we'll come back.
Okay, I think you're. Well, no. The video is frozen. Are you
Is
back
it
yet?
Ooh.
There we go.
Are they back?
Server change.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Yeah, Flux would just look down at themselves, look at Frank.
Nope. There it goes again.
How about we get changed?
Mm,
Yep.
yeah. That's
Well, while Alex is struggling with that, Nawalia will say, if you would like anyone to assist you, Atul, with some of these drills, I can take some of them too, as I am also fairly good at stripping down a weapon and building it back up.
He gives you a nod. Says, very well then. Sergeant Lanewald, Sister Noalia. If you could run platoons 1 and 2, squads 1 and 2 through standard disassembly and reassembly drills of their firearms, I want everyone to have a time under 1 minute.
Understood.
Attempts have been made.
Welcome
Uh-huh.
back.
We can hear you, so that's good.
Cool. I'm not gonna turn my camera on because I don't trust it.
Yeah,
But
it
it's fair.
Fair.
seems cursed at the moment.
It's the
But yeah.
fucking camera.
As Frampt instructs Lanewald, she snaps to attention, gives a quick glance to Flux for confirmation.
What am I confirming?
Frampt has just ordered them to run drills.
Oh, yeah.
Nuali also offered some assistance with that.
Yeah, Nuale will be taking squad 1, Lanewald will be taking squad 2.
That works.
You're gonna have to decide where Gallows and Griff fit in that.
Yeah. Flux will just kind of walk to the edge of the circle around Gallows. Not going into the circle, just outside of the circle.
As we said before, we do not fight.
Yeah, I fucking hope not, because you're in my squad. Congrats, you've been assigned to Squad 1.
Understood. You hear that, Griff? We've been assigned.
Indeed, squad 1, first squad. That's an honor, that is, Gallows.
Isn't it just?
Griff looks genuinely convinced that this is indeed an honor and gives you a salute after hopping off his bunk, Flux.
Gallus is just an asshole.
Flux is just gonna look at him and kind of pat his shoulder. Don't get too excited. We're the more likely ones to die.
He gives you a very cheerful grin, and you can see he's clearly missing a few teeth. That's exactly how I like my assignments.
You and
Why
I
do you
see
think
the
a
world.
colonel's handling this one?
You and I see the world very differently.
He grins.
Extensive time working with someone like Griff, one begins to understand his psyche. The man is hardly rational, but he is reliable.
You know, whatever works.
I think Gallows gets up and stretches, and as she does so, there's a lot of crackling, like to the point where it sounds like bones are snapping and reforming.
Noelia just kind of winces a bit and says, Are you alright?
Of course, sister. Why do you think we would think?
It sounded as though you just broke and then re-broke at least 3 bones.
Oh. So we did.
Dude,
What will you have us do, Sergeant Major?
alright then.
Sorry, what'd you say?
What would you have us do?
I believe Frampt is taking Squad 1 for drills, correct?
That would be Sister Nawalia.
No.
I would be conveying inspections of the entire platoon.
Delightful.
Understood.
I haven't
That
taken
being
these
said-
guns apart in detail yet. This is gonna be interesting.
That being said, Sergeant Major, I believe we will have to break out a pair of rifles from storage for the lieutenant and the colonel.
Yeah. I'll go handle that. And, yeah, we will make sure everyone has the same shit.
Yep.
And go through the... I don't even know how mind-numbing it would be. It seems like it would be, like, actually kind of calming to just take shit apart and put it back together again.
As
Yeah.
somebody does that depends. It is.
You are challenged to do it as fast as you can, and if you do not beat your previous time, Lameward shouts at you.
I look forward to Lanewold shouting at me. Let's go.
But in your case, Nualia shouts at you. Because Nualia is running the drill for Squad 1.
See, that's upsetting. I really want both of them to yell at me. Can we have
Very
both of them?
specific,
And Flux sit in between the two?
Look, Flux just really wants a pair of strong women to beat them up, okay?
It sounds like it.
No. I want them to step on me. Thank you
That's,
very much.
that's fair. That's fair.
All right, makes sense.
It's been about, say, 20-odd minutes since Cleft and Atlas began their trance, when Risa bursts in through the tent, glances around for a moment, then yells, "Oi, Private Cleft! We've got drills, get off your ass!" Startling the private awake as he scrambles to his feet.
Yeah. Alice, like, just turns his head like normal. It's like, huh. Is this something you'll need me for as well?
I believe you're included, yes. Sorry, Lieutenant. And Risa ducks out, dragging Cleft behind her.
Well, he'll be very slow for the next few minutes. I feel bad for him. He just gets up.
I don't know. I feel like Frampt has a very sobering effect on people.
Hey man, I'm just spitballing the potency of that drug at this point. The only reason I'm putting Atlas as being pretty well off is because he probably has a tolerance at this rate.
Probably.
So he makes his way over.
Yeah, you enter the barracks. Frampt glances at you, Atlas, says, you should join Squad 1, Lieutenant.
He nods. You'll probably see that Gallus has, like, no one hanging out nearby. And go over to Gallus, be like, it seems people haven't gotten used to you yet.
I think your reading is very generous. We appreciate it.
You said something about generous?
Yes.
That's me, Mason, asking, not him.
Yes. Sorry. Can you not hear me all right?
So
Yeah, you're very
I can.
quiet.
You're loud. I can hear you. Some of the words get lost to me in the effect.
In the static. All right.
Yeah.
Could turn the distortion down a little bit.
Yeah, I can do that. I thought I already had, but yep, there we go.
How's this? Any better?
Okay, that's good.
Okay. We'll keep
That should be
on.
better.
Alright. Fantastic. Yes, we feel that you are, your reading is generous, but we appreciate it.
I prefer to be generous. It's the kinder option. And he takes a seat next to you.
We find that the standard. We find that the Imperium does not appreciate our peculiarities at times.
Many choose not to understand. Though I find that that's generally because few people have the opportunity.
Though on the other hand, it does keep them safe somewhat, so there's benefit in that.
He nods. This reminds me, you had said you would want to, or you'd be willing to talk about your particular discipline later. Is
Of course.
now a bit later?
Now is a fine later. Although, we believe we are running through.
Yeah, you are all lined up in front of bunks, split off into squads. Lane Ward patrolling up and down the middle, keeping an eye on Squad 2 on the left, Squad 1 on the right, and Lacer's team in one corner. And once everyone's lined up, Framp turns on his heel, says, very well, we will begin by dismantling the lasgun according to the Imperial Infantryman's uplifting primer. And he starts walking you through the dismantling of your lasgun, explaining the different components and how they relate to the diagram of the Cantrell pattern short lasgun in the Imperial Infantryman's primer. He walks you through step by step, dismantling it, and then once it's all in carefully arranged pieces on the bunk in front of you, he snaps this primer closed, says, very well, you have 1 minute to reassemble it. Your time starts now. Everyone go ahead and give me a ballistic skill roll.
Fuck. I don't know why, I was really hoping it might be weapons. But I guess it's
No, this is a lasgun.
Ooh,
If you were
It is
dismantling
in
a
fact-
chain sword or a power sword, yeah.
I
It is
should
in
have-
fact what
I
might
should
be
have-
called a Rudy Tooty point and shooty.
Well, look, I was hoping for the broader definitional weapon. See this? I should have asked for my staff back. I could have substituted.
Take the stick apart.
All right.
I can. I will.
Yeah. Nualia, you're able to assemble the gun in about 30 seconds flat. Clicking together the last piece, setting the casing home, sliding the last retaining bolt in, place down, powering it on. You look around to see the others at work. Atlas is clearly struggling, going over the various pieces one by one in very intricate detail, occasionally having to go back a few steps after he realizes that he's assembled a component too early. Gallows does all right. Takes you just over a minute to finish assembling the gun.
That makes sense. I don't think she's ever used a lasgun.
Flux, it takes you about 40 seconds. Slower than Nualia, but you get it done in good time. Atlas.
I don't like guns. I'm here to rig explosives, but it's better than the sword.
I imagine it
Anything
would.
is better than the sword.
I imagine it would be very interesting to try to take apart a power sword and then put it back together.
See, that sounds like fun. Can I
All-
touch it?
Maybe
all
later.
of you finish. All of you finish before Atlas. But Atlas, you are the third slowest out of the platoon.
Oh no.
As you finally put it together, power it on, and it does indeed give off the low hum of capacitors charging. You place it on the bed, and you look around to see Leisha struggling with hers. She's assembled it, but when she turns it on, nothing happens. You can see Lace fumbling with one of the focusing lenses, which appears to have fallen out of the barrel assembly.
Get wrecked, asshole.
Yeah.
And finally, let me get his name. Holstein, who has assembled his rifle and turns it on about 5 seconds after Atlas does.
How did out of curiosity, how did Feely do after Nualia showed him how to do all that
Feely barely squeaked by at 59 seconds.
stuff? But he still
Oh,
did
dear.
it.
He did indeed.
I forget, is Nualia
As
in
actually
charge of
did
that?
Private Nubel. Nubel actually had the best time of everyone.
No, nice.
Damn.
Yeah, Nubel reassembled her rifle within 15 seconds.
Damn. That's
Nice.
pretty fucking awesome. Which squad was Nualia in charge of?
Squad 1, that would be Flux and the 2 lieutenants.
And Feely is in that squad, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. I just wanted to make sure. Yeah, she'll smile to Feely, clap him on the shoulder, and say, "See? You did better this time."
Oh, couldn't have done it without you running me through earlier.
I'm happy to help. And these drills will also help out tremendously, I'm sure.
He nods. I think I can do it faster next time.
Good. I look forward to seeing it. And yeah. She'll go through, let's see. Atlas was part of this one. Were Holstein or Lace part of these squads? Or Laisha?
No, they are part of Squad 2.
Okay. And what about Laisha?
Leisha is Squad 1, I believe. Yes.
Squad
Yes.
1? Okay. Yeah, Nualia's gonna go over and have a look. Actually, first she's gonna go over and say, "What seems to be the problem, Leisha?"
I don't know. I put it all back together, right, I think, but it won't turn on. There's no hum.
Just to make sure the safety is not still on, is it? Don't pull the trigger, just look at the button.
She picks the rifle, looks it over a bit. No, that's off.
Alright. Tell you what, take it apart again. Let's, we'll go by step, see if you missed anything.
She nods, starts dismantling the gun again with you watching. It's quickly apparent what the issue is, as while she has placed everything in the correct places, she has failed to connect up the magazine well to the actual capacitors.
Yeah, Nualia points that out and says, "You forgot the wires right here. That's what the problem was."
Oh, right. I must have missed it.
It's quite alright.
She's
It can be something easy to miss, but let's make sure that we're not forgetting it for the next time. don't want to have to go into battle and suddenly your las gun doesn't work.
Gives you a nod and starts carefully reassembling it again. Your approach is much gentler than Lanewald's. As she approaches Holstein. 1 minute 54 seconds, Holstein. That's not a very good time now, is it? What took you so long? Couldn't find where the trigger was? He looks very uncomfortable under her scrutiny. A quite hefty man. Bit soft around the middle. His uniform's just about large enough for him. He kind of looks down at his big meaty fingers. Sorry, Sarge, the bits are small and I'm not very good at the delicate stuff. That's not an excuse, Holstein. You're gonna have to do it in a fire situation sooner or later. Kind of scratches his head a little. Sorry, I don't know what to do. Well, you're gonna practice it. That's what you're gonna do. At least 4 more times before tonight's out. He nods. Of course, Sarge. Yes, Sarge. She gives him a nod, pats him on the shoulder. Keep at it, lad. You'll get it. Moves on. Lace, my friend. Having some trouble, are we? Lace scowls up at her, throws the lens on the bed. So, this is stupid, this is. Is it now? Why is that? If my gun's broke in the middle of a fight, I'm not going to use it. I'll club him with it or something. Oh, really? Because Mr. Frampt here would have something to say about that. Frampt kind of glances over from the other side of the room where he's instructing another trooper. Oh, improper use of Imperial property, I believe. That's flogging, at least, I understand. Ah, flogging, you hear?
Flux
That's
is just
the
gonna
problem.
pipe up from the other side of the room. Done it. Don't recommend it.
See, listen to the Sarge, you know, they know what they're talking about. Now, see, Lace, the problem here is you're a clumsy oaf who's never had to put anything together carefully in his life. So you're going to do it again, and again, and again, until you get it right. So, 1 minute. Time starts now. Lace scowls at her for a good 10 seconds. She meets him stare for stare and says, "That's 10 seconds, Private." He finally turns back to the rifle and begins working on it again.
I will never regret this decision.
But yeah, you are run through the drill a few more times. Some troopers are still encouraged to repeat it. Frampt doesn't outright tell you to keep doing it, Atlas, but as he passes
Atlas
by,
participates. Again, he doesn't like think he doesn't ignore the call to go again.
well, yeah, as he passes by, he just says, "Lieutenant, you might benefit from repeating the training a little, but feel free in your own time. I don't expect to hold you to the same standards as the rank and file."
But I prefer to be held as such. It creates balance between us, that you treat me the same, and thus we are the same. I would not like to be held above.
He raises an eyebrow, but gives you a slight inclination of the head. Very well then, Lieutenant. Repeat the exercise another 5 times, then I believe it will be lights out, and we will call it for today. But bright and early tomorrow morning, we will start each day with a breakdown and reassembly drill.
Of course. He gets at it.
He nods, moves on to the rest. Lace, Holstein, Atlas, Gallows, you are encouraged to remain as well. While the shall we say extra classes are going on, Colonel Griff actually steps up to you, Flux, and leans in towards you. Says, "I don't know about you, but that Private Newbell. I'm a fucking long-term veteran. I'm a colonel, for fuck's sake. I clawed my way up through the ranks. I assembled that gun in 23 seconds. She did it in 15. Don't know what the fuck is going on there, but that is not normal."
Flux is just gonna raise their eyebrows and look over at Newbell. Is Newbell doing it again? Can we watch this?
She is not. She has packed everything carefully away. Her bunk looks as pristine as if it came out of a vacuum-sealed box.
Reminder: is Newbell my bat person?
Yes.
No,
You're a bad person.
I forgot the word. Damn.
I mean, no, you're
That's
not
fair,
wrong.
but I'm
Like,
kidding, Justice League.
you're not wrong. The Batman term is an old term from World War One and World War Two, when the British Army was predominantly male and stupidly sexist. So, bat person is probably a more politically correct way to say it.
That's fair. I
sounds
was just
weird,
kidding,
but it
Justice
is-
League.
It sounds weird, but it does kind of fit.
I guess.
So it's specifically a reference to cricket, which is why no one outside of Britain ever understands the term Batman. A Batman is someone who stands behind the guy with the bat and checks him to make sure he doesn't miss the ball or the ball doesn't go long, or to check the wickets, etc. He looks after the guy with the bat. So, and usually he carries his bat onto the pitch with him.
Mm-hmm.
Stupid fucking tradition, but feels like I had to explain it at this point.
No problem.
Okay, now I have another question. How did it move from that to military?
Well, because the people who had the time to play cricket were the nobility, and the people who were
Yeah.
officers in war were the nobility.
No, that's fair. I shouldn't have even had to ask that
Like,
question.
It's rich school kids who played cricket in the summer at school and then went to war and were like, it was really convenient having a guy carry all my shit.
That tracks.
All right.
But yes, Nubel is sitting on her bunk, watching the extra classes as they proceed with a look of mild curiosity, but otherwise quiet patience.
Yeah, Flux will just walk over. Grab your kit. Come to my office.
She immediately rises to her feet, gives you a salute. "Of course, Sergeant Major." Reaches down under her bunk, pulls out her kit bag. You can see her rifle already lashed to the side, in easy reach. Slings it over her shoulder.
Yeah. Inside the office, Flux will just get rid of all the paper shit on the table. Like, move it to the...
Yeah.
It's all just one room with the bedroom, right?
It's a separate room.
Okay. Shove it onto the floor. I don't care about paperwork.
As you make your way to your office, Frampt just touches you on the shoulder and says, "I'm going to get a change of uniform. I will leave this to you."
An excellent choice, and one that I wish I had made before sitting down.
He nods, makes his way out, leaves you to your business. But yeah, Newbell follows you into your office and stands fairly stiffly beside the desk, waiting for instructions.
Break down your rifle again for me.
She looks a little confused, but unslings her rifle, sets it down on the desk, and with remarkable swiftness and precision, disassembles every single piece in one simple motion.
Where the fuck
looks up
did you
at
learn that?
She frowns. "Learn it when Commissar Frampt explained it."
So you've never done this before in your life?
Not with a rifle like this, no.
Do you have previous experience with other firearms outside of the basic training we get?
I have seen a few. I went to a firing range once.
Do you tend to just magically pick up skills with this speed?
A look of comprehension crosses her face. Oh, I thought it was in my report. My previous occupation was as a scribe. Part of that involved receiving implants. She turns her head to the side, takes off her cap, and pulls the hair back, and you can see just at the edge of the hairline on the base of her skull a row of sockets. I remember everything.
That sounds very irritating.
She gives you a small kind of half smile. It takes its toll sometimes.
So, you remember things, but I assume that does not also match up with muscle memory.
No, but it's not the same as those people who just they remember things from birth. I have specific implants. They map everything. I know exactly how I did a thing every single time, and I can do it the same time every time.
Does it just work for repetition of the same action, or for developing new methods of doing things?
Primarily repetition. Once I am shown a thing, I can do it quickly and easily.
Go talk to Nawalia after you reassemble your kit.
She looks a little
Ask
confused,
her
but
about the
nods.
extra training. She'll
Very
know
well.
what I mean.
Of course, Sergeant Major. She glances down at the desk, then looks up at you, and while making eye contact, reassembles the gun.
Show up.
Then slings it on her pack again. Is there anything else you need, Sergeant Major?
That's all.
She gives you a salute and turns on her heel, steps out the door, and beelines for Nawalia.
Yep. Noelia sees her coming over and then nods and says, "Hello, how can I help?"
The Sergeant Major said to speak to you about extra training.
Ah, yes. It wasn't going to be today, but probably tomorrow that I was going to begin looking at members of both squads to see who would benefit from medical training. Was there a reason why the Sergeant Major sent you over to me?
I believed it was common knowledge, but apparently not. I have eidetic memory implants.
Ah, then yes, that will be extremely helpful. Then yes, I will...
Really helpful for me, actually.
I will, tomorrow, I will pull you aside and a few others, to see how well you all take to the basic training that I can provide, and then we will see about more advanced training.
Gives you a nod and says, "Very well. I suppose I will await your order."
Very good. I do not think it will be necessarily first thing in the morning, but I would expect probably a good hour or two after we've all woken up.
She nods. "Very well, sister. May the Emperor guide your path.
May he guide your path and keep you protected.
She makes the sign of the Aquila and gives you a half bow.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, heads over to her bunk and just sits and watches the rest of the platoon.
You want me to roll to see if Atlas improves?
Go on, why not?
Hey,
you
Whopa!
Yeah, a bit of repetition. You eventually get it down.
Cool. It's like, this reminds me of my first time training. Good days. He just kind of mutters to himself about it. Probably at that point, turns to Gallows. Or wherever where is Gallows right now?
Presumably in the barracks with you.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I didn't know if Gallows got up and went to a different part of it or not.
They
I'm not sure
spontaneously combusted and no one noticed.
she might have. She dissolved into a pile of flesh. Yeah, I mean,
that'd be a little
she's
questionable.
presumably doing like the remedial classes, right? To put
Oh,
the
well,
others
yeah.
on, or-
Yeah, go ahead and give us another roll.
Sure. I can do that. I'm gonna wrap that because there's 10 minutes left. There's a 3.
Yeah, you just managed to squeak under the 60-second mark.
These
Nice.
secrets, we are improving.
Yeah, keep
Yes.
practicing, you'll get the job.
I'm a little better at this with my, I'll call it a multi-tool for now, but its official name is a, Staff of Thorns.
Ah, yes, we understand. We are unaccustomed to the las gun. It is not our tool of choice.
Indeed. The only weapon of such make I have is... He pulls out a really aged las pistol. This was given to me before I came here. I suspect in bad faith, but I prefer not to accidentally slander those before me.
That sounds wise.
Yes, especially when they're higher in the order than I am. Anyway, on to more interesting topics. Your powers.
Yes, our powers.
She kind
Oh,
of gives like a look to Griff.
Do you think a demonstration might be amenable?
Don't make it too flashy. Don't want to give the Sergeant Major too much work.
If it helps, we can go to the tent I've made outside if it has potential of
Certainly.
invoking fear.
That seems wise.
He nods and he gets up and he leads y'all out.
Yeah, she just goes with him
Yeah, Griff follows.
as usual.
I mean, he
Yeah.
legally can't leave your side.
Yep. Oh yeah, of course.
What's the bathroom situation like?
He has to wait outside. Do you think
Yeah.
the Astra Militarum can be bothered with gendered stalls?
No,
No.
of course
See,
not.
that's the thing. Is my question was, do they make him go in with her?
No, they assume
Nah.
that the door of a stall is not sufficient barrier to stop him from killing you.
Yeah.
But yeah, into the tent, fruity smelling incense and candles.
Is this room infested with something? The smell is terrible.
It isn't pleasant for everyone, but it is made from local things of Briar's Peaks. I find it preferable,
Hmm.
but I understand if you don't.
So you wish to talk sharp.
I didn't catch that.
You wish to talk sharp, then.
Sharp.
Shop.
I'm not sharp. Okay, I hear a lot of R's where they don't exist. It says, if that's how you would call it, I'm just interested. I've met my fair share of psychers before this, and I have found all of them quite interesting. Ooh, it just
All right,
happens as he
so-
talks.
Yeah, so as you're talking, there's a bit of a Gallows' shoulders kind of shudder a little bit, and large bony protrusions start to spike out. And once they're out fully, they look like very long bony fingers. They sort of a web forms between them, and she flexes her wings a little bit.
Oh,
We are flesh rot. The body is our trade.
I see. I've heard of this one. It's more commonly referred to as biomancy or biomantic discipline.
Correct.
Interesting.
Yes.
Anything else of note?
Else, the wings do not surprise you.
No. I would dare say I've seen more. What's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, I do not wish to sound intimidating things than wings. There was one who I met who could produce tumors, which would divine things for him. They would speak aloud and tell something minor about the future. That was a little disconcerting, but this is a little more conventional for my liking.
That is interesting. Oh, we should research this. But how about this one?
And I'm gonna re-roll that because again, I have one more.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. So Gallows shifts slightly, grows a little bit taller, and takes off her mask. And she is a perfect replica of Atlas.
He actually leans in to look closer. Kind of looks at maybe a blemish that's on the side of his face. I've slacked in my cleaning.
Well, if
Well.
you need a mirror, I am happy to assist.
I
She tries her best approximation of your voice, and I don't know. It should be identical in tone, but she doesn't know how you talk. So
Yeah. He kind of pauses. I would not make you exert such energy. I had not had a chance to view myself as late. But no, that is quite interesting. Quite useful, perhaps, in the battlefield. Well, I guess in the spying side of battlefields, if you must.
we have been used for many purposes from other squads. Please hold for a moment. And she dons the mask and puts her hood back up.
That is much better. We are uncomfortable without
Accommodation, yes?
the mask.
Mm-hmm. Would it be strange of me to ask to see your face as it is?
That would be strange, yes.
I see. I will not bother you on this topic then.
Thank you. Shall we return to the squad? I believe we have demonstrated our prowess.
This is fine. Perhaps I could tell you of other things I've seen before.
That would be interesting.
And then she just heads out of the tent and starts heading back towards the barracks.
Yeah, he follows. I'll just
Yeah.
talk to Cleft first. I did have a question to ask him.
Yeah, you can find him at his bunk, packing his kit.
Let's go over to Cleft. Well, good brother Cleft, did you see anything?
I saw something. I don't remember, though. It all kind of fled my mind when we were awoken.
I see. This is understandable. Clarity comes with repetition, though I will understand if you don't wish to participate again. It's a strange thing to partake of.
I will admit I am curious, brother. I would perhaps take you up on that.
Of course. I do it often enough to see if my visions shift, but alas. 10 years going, same one every time.
We shall see. Yes, I'm not sure what to make of it just yet.
Of course. Just kind of nods at that. I don't know. Does a taps like a part of the bed and nods and goes over to whatever is equivocally his bunk, equivalently.
Yeah. And we will leave it there for today. We will come back tomorrow on a new morning with an actual
Next
sunrise.
week.
Yeah.
Oh, so yeah, next week, not tomorrow.
Well, yeah.
It'll be
That's
tomorrow
not
in
right.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah, in game tomorrow.
Something that kind of occurred to me at the very end here. The different squad abilities that we unlocked
Yes.
via the training. Did we write those down somewhere?
I have them.
You
Yes.
have them?
I remember
Okay.
a few of them offhand, but
Feel free to post them. You guys should put them in your talents list.
Yeah.
That's what it's there for.
They're in my talents list.
I thought I
Do it
thought I
as a scrap.
had. I thought I
Yeah, just
had,
put-
but I don't remember. Okay.
Yeah, just post it in there, and yeah, I'll
What was
keep an eye on it.
I don't
I've been very actively trying to talk to more people to get more out of them.
Yeah, I forgot that we actually had Feely as part of that, so I had talked a little bit more with Feely as part of that, and was like, oh, okay, so we have his ability. All right. got
I
it."
mean, it's not wasted RP.
Of course,
still good.
absolutely not. I'm just saying that was one of the reasons. The other was also just Feely's adorable. I like Feely.
I tell you what, that was like 1/4 of the reason I switched off of Battletrum, because a lot of the things I was doing, because I wanted to actively engage that, I realized for the most part, he has very little reason to engage more people
Mm-hmm.
in depth the way that
Yeah.
Atlas does.
That is fair.
So I'm actively ignoring the fact that we can get feats from characters. I just want to
Yeah.
hang out with people and randomly and organically find them.
Yeah,
Because that's
absolutely.
more fun for me.
I had to get that.
I use the feats less as a metagaming thing and more of a reason to expand out the number of people. Otherwise, there's absolutely going to be people that Nawalia just specifically avoids and never talks to.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah,
how
so-
people are.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. This is why I made someone who's explicitly both in their ideals and technically by job supposed to get towards everyone.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I'm over here making
takes...
sorry, I'm over here making a bunch of antisocial characters.
That's fine.
Yeah. Hugh, what
I enjoy
was-
Gallus so far.
What was Nawalia's squad ability?
The Walias?
Yeah.
Wait,
You
we
don't
have
get
squad
one.
abilities?
It's for NPCs.
No, I remember each of us also having specific abilities as well.
I
Yeah,
remember
we
no
get
such thing.
those feats that the squad has.
No. It was stuff that our specific characters had as well. I thought I remembered us having
No.
that too.
No.
Afraid not.
No? Okay. Alright.
The closest that we have for that is the abilities that come with your class. Or archetype,
Yeah, with
rather.
the archetype. Yeah, I've got that one. I could have sworn that there was another one in there, but yeah, all right.
Well, I mean, in theory, you can give orders to the squad, which can make them do things, but I don't know if you'd call that like a squad
No.
power.
No, I would say that's something else. Okay. Then yeah. Let that aside. Hope everybody enjoyed. I put this into my Discord, but I'm gonna say it here as well. I'm taking a somewhat brief hiatus from streaming, just trying to get shit sorted out in my head. Hoping to come back more when I've actually gotten onto medication, which should be very soon. I'm going tomorrow to pick it up. But during the week there might be some streams for games that I've gotten keys for, but otherwise there more than likely won't be. It's either going to be that or like Sea of Thieves, just on the spur of the moment. But you can definitely catch me on other people's streams. I sometimes join Mochizuki for Splitgate. So yeah. Have a good one, everybody. Bye!
Cheers.
Hey.